If another week has crawled by, that means it's pre-show time.
Happy Friday.
Happy Friday here. February 20th, 2026. We're coming at you sometime in April.
Almost over.
Yeah. Of course, by the time they're listening to this, it's sometime in like mid-April, I think.
First couple weeks of April, I do believe.
Yeah. Assuming we're still alive. If not, then this would be cool to listen to probably for somebody.
Happy War.
One of the final, one of the last recordings of them alive.
Let's do a prediction.
Oh, okay. I thought you were going to say a time capsule recording for the future.
Oh, well, if it was a longer lasting time capsule than three weeks or 4 weeks or whatever this is now.
Yeah.
Maybe. Okay. No, I'm going to say prediction. So let's say, like, currently, I think fuel prices are like right around $3 a gallon locally.
Yeah, it was $2.95 this morning whenever I filled up where I live.
So what do you think it'll be whenever this airs? Closest, regardless of going over, wins. Regardless of going over.
Well, we did steal all of the oil from a country that we invaded and kidnapped the president from.
That was gone in like I think 16 hours.
We are completely seizing all renewable energy entirely and relying completely on coal and oil.
Sure, yeah. Coal doesn't necessarily play into this, but oil definitely does. Yeah.
Yes. I will guess 330. I'm gonna go with 330.
Okay, that's not
No.
too outlandish. My question is going to be to myself, do I feel like you're too low? I say mine's going to come with an asterisk. I'm going to say 342. Now, wait, are we doing like local prices or a national average?
That's what I was wondering. I was thinking in my head local where I live for prices.
Fine, yeah.
So
I'm doing local as well. 342, I said, I believe. 342 is what I'm saying now. 342 locally. Asterisk. Unless aliens are real. If we find out that aliens actually are real, then double that.
Yeah, but don't you think that'll only matter for like 2 days?
Yeah, if that. But I think it's going to happen 2 days before this podcast comes out. That's my time.
Oh, really? It's an interesting wager.
No, I feel like the more calamity we have, the more price hiking that there'll be. So, it's either 342 or it's 684. There we go. Math.
684.
One of the two. Depends on if aliens are confirmed or not. And I guess, as you pointed out, confirmed 2 days prior to the listening of this podcast.
Well, there's a lot at stake on that one then.
So it's a big asterisk. Otherwise,
yeah,
342. That's where I'm going to be at. Yeah.
We'll see. Yeah, so, hey, everybody. The world's doing great, as you can tell.
God.
Everywhere, even. So, that's all good and well. Since the last time we talked, Will, you were having some car issues, and from what I understand, you've gotten that resolved. Is that right?
Yeah. I did
the
it
day
myself.
after we recorded.
Yeah.
You didn't? Did your dad help at all? You did it yourself?
I mean, he
completely?
held the flashlight, not jokingly.
Did you
He helped me pick
tip
up
him
the hose.
for his services?
No.
Oh. He's doing it pro bono?
No, so he works at an auto parts store, so he got a discount on the hose and helped me find the hose.
He stole product for you.
He did
to
pay
use.
for it. I did watch that happen. And I owe him dinner. So I guess there is that.
Oh, okay. That's restitution, I guess.
But no, like pretty much I had to take, which I mean, I had most of the car apart, which wasn't like a lot. I had the hose off, and I had like there's like this fascia plate right above the radiator where I had to get to that had to come off. So I had that off before he even arrived, and then we just went and got the hose and came back, and he held the flashlight, and we put the hose on, and a couple clamps, and he had his little kit for testing the pressure of the system. So I guess he did provide that, but he already owned that. So we tested that. Our fix worked, but then we found another leak somewhere else, which I think it was a leak I already had for like a long time. It's a very slow leak. So, and that leak was fixed a couple days later by him because he insisted that he was going to fix it. And that resulted in literally just retightening a clamp on another hose. So yeah, cars, as far as leaking fluid, as far as specifically leaking coolant, car is all buttoned up.
Well,
there's still a few things that need to be done on it. But it works. It drives. I drove it 100 miles Wednesday. So that was like the big test because I've only been going to work and back, which is like maybe
you had to cut back on your Taco Tuesdays, yeah.
Yeah. But I did have a pizza Thursday. I'll get into that in a minute. Yeah, so I drove it a little over 100 miles Wednesday evening after work. I had to go to a dinner meeting for someone else's haunted house, and boy, was that a waste of fucking time.
That's good.
I mean,
was it 100 miles round trip or was it one way?
Round
okay.
trip.
Yeah.
And it was a civic organization who puts on a haunted house. I'm going to try to be vague. And they are struggling after, they've only been doing this for, I think like 53 years now. So you would think they would fucking know what they're doing or how to do it. Anyway, but I guess they got like, new members and they lost they didn't lose old members. They just lost members. And those members were, I guess, sort of like the backbone of this place. Even though they were toxic, they still like made it happen. So whenever those folks left, the remaining group members have been struggling as to how to run this thing, how to, even like do simple stuff like building or, design, dealing with like online ticketing, dealing with safety aspects, like, the stuff that like a majority of the public doesn't even think like is part of this business, right? But again, you expect like this organization that literally have been doing it for like 53 years. I don't think there's been a year. I mean, I could be off by like 5 or 6 years, but they've been doing it for several decades. And that's the big red flag for me, is that like if you don't already have some kind of like Bible in your organization on how to like, do things or who to call, or, because you're also a civic organization that's doing this for charity. So, as far as the pool you should be able to have to get like companies to come in and build shit or donate shit or, man-hour donation, that's all tax write-off for anyone who does that. The fact that you can't do that, that's already an issue. And then, the show that you put on, the fact that you think, and I say you as in like the group, the fact that you think that there's no need to like drastically change it. I mean, I get that it's like still, I guess, bringing people in, but if you're struggling to make numbers and whatever else, maybe a refresher is needed. So anyway, so this dinner meeting, they brought myself and a couple others in under what I assumed was going to be like, let's all discuss this and discuss the seriousness of like, should we continue to do it and how, or should we stop doing it? And the meeting started off with the group of us that was invited being almost the majority of the people in the room. So I was like, oh, this is already great.
Yeah.
But then a few more of their group showed up. So they had like a slight majority in the room. And there were only like 4 of us. So that was like, okay. And then we were handed by the group leader. The group leader had some students, I guess, some children, paint a bunch of rocks. You know, like whatever shape the rock was, they were inspired by the shape to paint it into existence as another object, right? So there was like a donut rock and a little car rock, and like I had like a strawberry looking rock, and you know, whatever. So those rocks were passed out to everyone in the room. And then from one basket, by the way, these rocks were in a container, and there were way more rocks than there were people in the room. Mm-hmm. And then the leader of the group grabbed another smaller container that was empty and asked us to put the rocks that we had pulled out of the other container into this smaller container. And then the lesson here was that the smaller container was the building and the property. They already owned the building and the property. And it just takes all of us coming together to build the stuff inside of the container, the rocks. That was the lesson. And that took 15 minutes to get through. And so far, we've just put in a drink order at the restaurant.
Do they think that you're like second graders?
That's exactly what I said. Because we snuck out. A couple of the guys that I was with are smokers. So we snuck out. Well, didn't sneak out. We took a break.
I gotta go use the restroom. And then everybody all
smoking. Yeah, no. So we like stepped out a couple times during the evening, not during like the talking portion, but during the Mostly it was during the waiting for food portion. But
there wasn't enough people there for you to actually sneak out. It would have been very obvious that you were gone.
It's like, oh, where'd they go? Yeah. And we were in a very large room too. Like it was like a party room for like 50 people. There was like maybe 12.
That's like a Curb Your Enthusiasm kind of moment. Go ahead.
So yeah, but that was exactly one of the things that I said during one of the sneak outs was that I was like, I feel so belittled right now. As far as like the whole basket routine and like picking out rocks and collecting rocks and
very
putting
condescending
rocks back in. Yeah. And it was done. It was presented by the person who asked us as professionals to come in and help. And the whole lesson was, if we just work together, we can build this thing and fill it full of awesome. And I'm just like, no, that's not what it takes to build a haunted house. I'm sorry. So that
and they could have saved a lot of time and effort if they had just said that as well. It could have could have said that in 4 seconds as opposed to 15 minutes to do a rock.
It was
and
literally a
15-minute
thing, and the poor server that was in designated for the whole room had
awkwardly
barely
standing there.
Yeah,
in this
the whole time, like waiting to fucking take our food order. We already had our drink orders in.
This is cringe-inducing. Just the whole imagining.
Listen, this started at 6:30. I didn't leave until 9 o'clock. So buckle up, baby. So hold on. So as soon as we got in to the room, the server took our drink order, and he messed it up. I don't think it was his fault. I think he just got like the glasses switched up because we were all kind of scattered randomly. But that took forever to fix because he never reapproached us. So several of us had wrong drinks for most of the time that we're sitting there listening to this conversation. Or not conversation, this presentation. So yeah, the rocks thing was really just like a drawing could have been sufficed. Or even as you said, just that simple phrase. You know, we already have the building, let's just all come together. The visual had no effect on anyone in there at all. In addition to the way the tables are set up, half of the people sitting at the table had their backs to the person doing the presentation anyway.
Lucky them.
So the visual if it had any value at all, was lost on half the group because we had her back turned to her. And yeah, we could have turned around, but here's the thing. The meeting just started. There was no like, okay, everybody, like I'm going to, there was no, she just started to like talk, and it just sounded like she was kind of like free-flowing conversation to the room. And then we realized, oh no, this is actually her. Like, so it just, there was a time, like, me personally, I felt like if I turn around now, it's going to be obvious that I wasn't turned around before. so I was very much like, she can't see me. She can't see that I haven't turned around. I will just freeze and not move until she's done talking. So 15 minutes goes by, and then she addresses some other information pertaining to the organization. And she's a very sweet lady. Well, like she's trying her best, I guess, whatever. I forgot. Our group of professionals was given a thank you gift for us helping them last season with some information and stuff like that. And the thank you gift was a plastic spider dish and 2 of the painted rocks.
Okay.
So that was nice. So, of which, by the way, we didn't get to choose the 2 rocks. She just gave us 2 random rocks.
There you go. Hopefully you connected with these 2.
So yeah. So she finally gets to the end of her presentation as far as the other information. And I'm prepared. Like, I've been thinking about this I've known about this meeting for like a month. I'm prepared. I don't say I'm like, I don't have notes or anything. I have like mental notes, I know enough about the situation that they're in that if they were to ask me questions, I could probably, get close to an answer, or at least, some kind of helpful insight or whatever. So I'm ready for that. I'm ready. Like, okay, we're getting like the business of the meeting finished. We're now going to open it up to a conversation that we were brought here for in the first place. Nope. She goes, oh,
we're not going to let the other people talk as if they're adults with ideas and thoughts.
No one else spoke. No one else addressed the group at all. Just one person. Mm-hmm. And so we're at that point, and she then turns it over to the server, who she notices is just like standing there in the corner. And she goes, oh, go ahead and take their order. So he one person to get like 12 of us. He takes him some time to get through all of us, So that's another like 10 minutes. And then that person vanishes, and we don't see them for a long time. That was like about 7:00. Again, we have been here for half an hour now. So I think this is one of the first times that we slipped out, because also the room had no circulating air, and the night of the meeting, it was like 70 degrees outside. It was pretty warm, so it was just like very hot in this room. So a couple of us stepped out. One of us to smoke, and I followed, and that was one of our first sneak outs. Came back about 10, 15 minutes later, still, no food. Our drink had been fixed, thankfully, so that was nice. So now, like 45 minutes later, we can finally drink the correct drink that we ordered. But the room has devolved into just like the people who are sat together talking amongst themselves, And the leader of the group is like kind of going from table to table, just like, joining into the conversation, but not really, it's just kind of like just a relaxed atmosphere. There's definitely no like organizational point or objective to this time. And that lasts for like another half hour. Just like, and also we're waiting on our food too. Like, food has not come out yet. So this is like sneak away 2. And this is where I said to the person that I went outside with, I was, about the whole, that felt belittling. I don't know why we're even here. Like, I thought it was supposed to be about, talking about this, whatever. So then we get back inside, and it's like 7:45 now, I think. And finally the food starts to come out slowly. And of course people are like missing stuff. And there's that whole, conversation trying to like talk to one 20-year-old dude about what, is missed. or what they didn't get, or can I get extra this, or that whole thing. Which that's never done in an organized way ever. It's just a free for all of people just trying to get his attention and being like, ketchup, lettuce, I got the wrong sandwich, that kind of stuff. And he's just trying like his best to memorize everything. So yeah, 8:00 comes around. We've all gotten our food, starting to eat. The food was decent. I mean, it was okay. I wasn't overly excited about the food, but it wasn't super expensive on the menu, and it actually tasted okay. I mean, I got like a burger and fries, and the fries were pretty good actually. So ate that again. Just like random conversations are happening, but no one is talking to us as far as professionals for the reason that we were brought here. And we also don't know anyone else in the room except for like the leader of the group. So they had that kind of like very awkward, like outcast sort of table vibe to it. I forgot the leader, the organization leader. She brought a bunch of like mini cupcakes and cookies, and she passed those out before our food came. So we just had a bunch of sweets before the main course. Yeah. I forgot about that part too. Again, massive, like, just like, not all massive, but there were many red flags. So now it's like, 8:15, and we're all finished and with our food. So the plates are being collected or whatever. And kind of thinking like, this is it, So we sneak out one more time. Final smoke break, and we have like a conversation about something else outside, because we had already like kind of checked out of this whole purpose of being there. And I'm thinking like, I drove an hour to get here. I waited 2 hours past my normal like meal time to finally eat. If I leave here right now, I'm going to get home like after my typical bedtime throughout the week. Plus I still have like the hour drive back. And I have to fucking go pay for this food. so I was just already like, I'm out. Get back in, and like the one like bright spot was that by the time that we got back in, which is like 8:30 now, a little bit after 8:30 from our last sneak out, everything had been paid for by them. So that was nice.
Good.
I did not expect that to happen. Not that like I figured they would be cheap. I just figured like this was just, it was kind of like a meeting and you get your own food sort of thing. So that was really nice of them. I did thank the group for that. That was really, very nice. And then we just sat there, and then like one of our guys had to leave, which I should have left too. And then, so now it's like 8:45. This place closes at 9. And most of their group is also leaving. Like, just like saying their goodbyes, and that whole process takes, 5 or 6 minutes per person or whatever, right? So that's how we got to 8:45, basically, was that process of people leaving. And like I said, one of our group left, and finally the organization leader sits down at our table and like sort of opens up a dialogue about all this whole situation. And it actually took one of the guys that I work with, it was actually him like heavily initiating like what are your goals, like what are the goals of this. And then finally that conversation that we thought we were there for the whole time started with like 12 minutes left until they closed. so we briefly talked about that, discovered that the leader admitted that one of the biggest issues, that if we were to come on and help them in any capacity, that one of the issues would be she would be the one to have the most pushback. And so we asked why, like where would the pushback come from? And she admitted that like if we had ideas or concepts or whatever, we would have to convince her why we needed to do those. And I turned to her and I said, is your pushback coming from any place of expertise? And she goes, no. And I said, okay. That's all I needed to hear, was that you don't know what you're talking about. You just need convincing. Which is twofold. That makes convincing potentially easy, but it also means that sometimes you really have to like over explain something that you shouldn't have to explain at all because you're the expert, and you were brought in. You're not brought in to teach, you're brought in to do. And if I'm taking my time to try to dumb this idea down for you to get you on board, whenever I shouldn't have to do that because I'm brought in to be the expert. So it was twofold, but mostly for me it was a red flag. So finally I had to be like, hey, it's not like 9 o'clock. Like we need to get out of here. So we all left, and she was like, hey, thanks for coming. That was great. I really look forward to working with you guys. And and was like, next Saturday, come over and we'll start to like look at things or whatever. And the whole time I'm thinking like, nah, I'm sorry. Sorry. But so we all leave. I'm driving home, and my friend who I work with a lot, he called me and was like, so what'd you think of that? And I was like, no, I'm not sold yet. It's like, we didn't address anything really. We just found out that like there's going to be more annoyances than what we predicted. I told him, I was like, the biggest red flag of all, which is it always has been for me with this group, is that they don't know why they're doing what they're doing. If they don't, like, the question that he asked to start off the conversation was, what are your goals? Like where do you want your haunted house? Like, what do you want to get out of your haunted house? And that was never really answered. So yeah, I don't know if I'm going to end up helping them. I haven't even seen the place yet, so I don't know like physically what shape it's in. And this is also only predicated on the fact that, I can't remember if I said this, but the haunted house that I helped with last year, they got kicked out of their venue that they were leasing. So this last month, they've been packing up all that stuff into a storage unit. So they don't have a home currently. So this is all helping this group. This civic group is all predicated on the fact that like none of us have an actual haunt of our own to work for or build on. So I think that if that issue gets solved, then we definitely won't be helping them. At least not beyond like some pointers and tips. But they're wanting to like have us come in and like physically build and, you know, do like the construction and like the running of the place for nothing. I think I don't know if there's any agreement on pay either, which I'm also already like nope. Not to be a greedy bastard, but like that's a lot of time and energy and effort, and I've done that for many years without. So I can find something else to do with my time during the hot summer of southern Indiana. Yeah. So that was my Wednesday. But like I said, the car made it, so that was good, and my food was paid for, so that was good. So this week has been, with the exception of like the weird meeting, this week has been much better than the previous 2 weeks, or the first, part of February and last of January. Yeah. So that was my weekend review, I guess, is just that. Other than that, it's been warm. It stormed. I didn't get anything. Nothing happened. It didn't even rain here. Nothing.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but there was like a tornado nearby.
Yeah.
So.
Was there any like, as the day came, was there any more information about that you've heard?
Yeah, today they said that like preliminary reports is like an EF1, and then there was another one that was like an EF0, further to the west of that one. And I guess like there were some like structural damage, but I guess most of the debris field that was on radar was like woodland, like tree, like, it wasn't like structures, so that was good.
Yeah.
But there still were like several structures that were pretty badly hit and stuff. But
I heard something about like probably like roofs that were ripped off and stuff.
There's like a lot of that type of structural damage. Just that. I don't think any houses were like completely wiped off or anything. So
well, I kept waiting. I know not to talk about this for a long time, but I was really hoping that the YouTube channel I was listening to would mention some of that, because he kept, a couple of times he mentioned like, we're listening to the scanners, like we're kind of trying to compile some information before we say anything or whatever. And he's like, we're hearing some not great reports, but we're waiting until we hear more about it or whatever.
Yeah.
And then I kept waiting, and he just never would bring it up. I
don't think that wasn't his fault. I didn't find out any of the information I just told you until this morning. Like I think it was just like it was evening at night,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
I kind of went to bed. So the last I heard last night was the same as that. Like the scanners were all saying that like there were people trapped and houses, and it actually didn't sound. And plus that debris signature on the radar was like pretty scary because all of a sudden I came into what people think of as like the city like perimeter, I guess, or city limits. Yeah, and it just like exploded with debris on the radar, and I was just like, oh god, that is not ideal. Yeah. So that was a combination of that, and like I said, just like the lack of information from the source. Yeah, so I mean, clearly we didn't find out until like today about the rating, the preliminary rating. But even then, like there weren't many photos that I could find last night. There weren't like no one was talking that much other than like people chiming in online saying that they were safe. Mm-hmm. So that was about all you could find. And then, like I said, I went to bed shortly after that. So yeah. I left you hanging.
Well, that's fine. I couldn't listen to that channel anymore.
I don't blame you.
But yeah, I don't know. Bye week has been, I guess, a fairly normal week. I've watched some cool stuff, some interesting stuff.
Are you sticking up with your one movie a day?
Yeah,
average?
or just 365 this year minimum is the plan. Yeah, I let's see. Since we last recorded, because we watched those shorts, I watched Benny Safdie's The Smashing Machine with The Rock and Emily Blunt. Didn't really do much for me.
Did we talk about on here, or was that privately, about you waiting to see like which Safdie brother was going to win this battle between?
No, I think...
Did we record it on conversation?
I think we have mentioned it because I read through my favorite movies of last year. And,
yeah. Okay.
Josh Safdie's movie was one of them, and I said, I do think I mentioned that I hadn't seen Benny's movie yet, and so I don't want to declare who won.
But can you now?
Absolutely, yeah. Josh Safdie handily won, like, not even close in my opinion. This Smash.
Is that a review of the film or a review of the brother?
A review of the brother's work.
Okay.
No, this Smashing Machine just didn't. I mean, it was fine.
It was fine. Okay, that's a Thomas average score there. It was fine. It was fine.
I watched it, and I don't need to watch it again. Pretty much, it was like The Wrestler, but about a not MMA good. Fighter, and not. I thought The Wrestler was pretty good, but
sure.
Yeah, this one was. It was The Rock trying to go for like an Oscar kind of role. Basically, is
that's
what it
awkward.
was. So, and it was also really strange, in a not bad way. It was really strange, like the makeup, because you can tell that it's The Rock, but it also does not look like him.
Oh,
it's
really
weird. Like the makeup, because he looks more like the guy that he's playing, which makes sense, obviously.
So it's based on a true story?
Yeah, it's based on a real guy. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
No, yeah, but he was really good in it. I will say that. Like, I don't mean to belittle his performance or anything. Like, he was really good. And it was interesting because you don't really see The Rock do stuff like this. I mean, he's in like Skyscraper or like San Andreas and Jumanji and stuff like that, which are fine. I enjoy some of those movies.
No, I think he does amazingly well in those types. Yeah.
I really like Jumanji. I thought that Rampage was good, where he looks the exact same. And I remember whenever Jumanji and Rampage came out within like a few months of each other, and seeing the previews for Rampage and be like, what? They just released a Jumanji. Is this a sequel already? Because he's wearing the exact same like beige buttoned up shirt.
Yeah.
But no, he was really good in The Smashing Machine.
Okay.
It's just the movie was just fine. It didn't really particularly like wow me or move me, I wouldn't say.
Okay. Fair.
But later that same evening, we watched Disney Pixar's Soul, which
came out a couple years ago.
2020. Yeah.
Oh, more than a couple years ago. Okay.
Which I didn't realize was that long ago either. But yeah,
I haven't seen
that was yet. It was fantastic.
Has there been a bad Pixar movie? I know there's been Pixar movies that don't perform as well as expected, but have there really been any Pixar films that are just not good?
I don't know off the top of my head. I mean, there's definitely ones that like I
name 5
care less about, but I already just said I can't name off the top of my head.
Yeah, no,
they're good overall, and there's like I was just kind of, we have hit kind of, I think for me, this weird situation where like they just don't really put out much that I have interest in seeing.
Sure, yeah.
Like, and they do too many, in my opinion. I know it's like a common complaint about the movie industry in general right now, but for Pixar, for me, as of the last like 15 years, maybe they too many sequels. Like all they do, I love it whenever, like Soul, one of the things I loved about it, it's such a unique, super creative, very interesting idea. And I love it when they do stuff like that, or like Inside Out. And I love it whenever they have like a super creative, interesting idea like that, and it's just done so well. But they just do too many like fucking like part 3 of something, or Toy Story 5. Like the Toy Story movies are fine, but like, and that same with Inside Out. I never saw the second one, and I still don't have interest in seeing the second one because the first one was such a great movie, and the story is like told so well, and it's done, and I don't feel like I need more of that. Like that movie was just fantastic.
Right.
I'm sure the second one's good, and I'm sure if I watch it, I'd like it. I just don't care to. But yeah, Soul was wonderful. And I'm going to put my partner on blast, but we got there toward the end of it, and both of us were like able to hold it together, and we were like there at the end, and she like rolled over on the couch, and I thought she was like taking a nap because she seemed like she was kind of tired. Oh. And then like as the credits were going, she was like was like sobbing, fucking bawling. Oh no! And I was like, whoa. That movie, it was very good. It was.
Is that the one that's about like the jazz player?
Yes.
Yeah. Yep. Okay. I don't know anything else about it from memory.
I didn't either. No, I'd seen like a few pictures. I don't even think I had seen a trailer for it or anything. I just knew the title, and I recognized like the look of the main character in the story.
Yeah. Right.
But no, it was very good, very creative, really interesting. So yeah, we enjoyed that, and then later that next morning, I woke up, I slept for like 2 hours, and I woke up and I couldn't fall back to sleep. So I finally watched together the Dave Franco, Alison Brie.
Oh yeah, right.
Horror film from Neon.
Yeah.
And I really enjoyed that. I thought that was actually quite entertaining.
Was that the one where like, did they steal that idea from the short film, or did the short film?
That's the one they were accused of stealing it from.
It was an indie film, not a short film.
Another, yeah. Which I think there was definitely some evidence that they didn't, that wasn't stolen. But
right.
I saw a thing on Reddit actually of like a side-by-side comparison of some moments from both films, and it is shot for shot almost exactly the same in multiple portions.
Yeah,
and that indie movie, of course, came out first, but there's also proof. I think like the script, there's been like evidence that the script for Together was written like 2 or 3 years before that movie was made, and stuff like that. And so it seems like, which I didn't really suspect they had stolen the idea anyway. I mean, they could have, I don't know, but I didn't suspect that they did.
Well, even like the shots like that you're talking about, like were they just like general like filmmaking shots, as far as not like super technical?
There's some body. I mean, it's a body horror movie, of course. But there's like, there were a couple of shots of things that were almost exactly the same.
Okay.
There was. I mean, I don't want to spoil anything, of course, and I don't know if you plan on seeing it. Yeah, so there are some like body horror stuff that looks the exact same in both of the movies.
So more than just like the framing. There's stuff.
Yeah, more than just like it's a similar story. Like there are shots that are almost exactly the same. Like, exactly the same. So I don't know. That was a little skeptical, but also it could just be like they both had a similar idea, and that is a unique way to shoot it, or a cool way to shoot, because it's not like it's a weird camera angle or like something unique happens. It's like
that's what I was wondering.
The body horror itself is like what's being shot, and it is shot this same way.
Right.
So I don't know. I don't suspect they maliciously stole any ideas. I think it's just coincidental that it looks similar.
But even then, would it be wrong if they were like inspired by it?
I don't know. Well, according to the original people, I guess it would be. But I think the issue that was brought forward was that the filmmakers of that thing were saying that like the premise was completely stolen, like the whole idea of it. I
think you can only like steal that or like justifiably argue that, because I don't know enough to know if like there's plagiarism in like cinematography.
Yeah, I wouldn't assume that would make any sense.
And even then, how many filmmakers, air quote, pay homage to other films?
Everything, yeah.
Well, that too, but also specifically like shots and staging within a frame.
No, yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah,
everything to exactly get the same look as a film that they love. That's not. I don't know if you can like sue over that.
Yeah, and then there's also that whole thing where they would have to. I assume would have to have proven that these filmmakers had seen their thing and were like intentionally copying from it. So it doesn't seem like there's much weight in my opinion, but I'm also not a legal expert. So who knows? Maybe I'm also wrong. Maybe Alison Brie and Dave Franco were just like, let's fucking rip this off.
Yeah. I mean,
I don't know them. I don't know, but I doubt it. But it was a good movie. I thought, I would say I didn't love it as much as I maybe had hoped I would, but I did really have a good time. And it was also the other thing that I wanted to say without getting too into the movie that you want to see is that I did appreciate that they seem to, it's not a comedy, but they definitely seem to be aware of like what a crazy premise this is. Okay. And so there's some comedic elements and like some humor, definitely, which I really appreciated. There was some. And
what'd you say
stuff
again?
That I thought was funny.
That it was. You said it was great. Is that what you said?
No,
you said you had a good time.
Yeah.
So for those following along,
it earned a like from me on Letterboxd.
There you go. So
which the Smashing Machine did not.
For those following along, Smashing Machine, it's fine.
Yeah,
that's average. And then. I had a good time is above fine.
Yeah. Okay. Yes. Absolutely. I will stand
by
that.
Where is the Pixar film as far as that rating scale?
Fantastic.
Fantastic, but wouldn't watch it again.
No, I would watch it again.
Oh, wait.
I'd watch it
that
again.
Was the Smashing thing that you
I wouldn't watch the Smashing Machine again.
Sorry.
No.
So Pixar thing.
I could see myself watching Soul and Together again. Yeah, I'd watch both of those again.
Is that a good double feature, you think?
Soul and Together. Yeah, I think so.
Are there overlapping themes?
Yeah, the souls of these people definitely go in and out of the people. So yeah, I think and Together has some body horror that involves that as well. So yeah, I think that would work personally. Yeah. I hereby co-sign Disney Pixar's Soul.
I want to see like
Together as a double feature,
like Music Box double.
Yeah, like the new Bev has. Yeah, I'd go to that. Yeah, so then we watched the day after that on the 16th, a few days ago. We watched she canceled her HBO subscription.
Oh.
Well, she had canceled it. But I wasn't aware of that. I opened the app and it said like your payment didn't process or something like that. And I was like, oh shit. And I was like, did you cancel this? And she was like, she asked me like, yeah, I don't think either of us use it. And I was like, HBO Max is like the only one of these that I use.
You picked the wrong one.
And she was like, oh, do you want me to? She was like, well, it's kind of expensive. And like, I didn't know that you were watching it. And I was like, well, I said, out of all the streaming services that you pay for, this is the last one that I would want gotten rid of. Like Peacock, we watch fucking soccer on.
Oh, right.
Like I'd rather have HBO than Peacock.
Right.
Like, but anyway, she doesn't use HBO, and I didn't want her to like have to pay $25 a month for the streaming service that she isn't actually using. So I was like, just go ahead and cancel it, and then I'll just sign up for it myself. And so, but I found out that they had a bundle where you can do HBO, Hulu, and Disney Plus like bundled together for like $30.
Okay.
And so I was like, I'm just gonna do that. I don't care about Hulu really, and I've never had Disney Plus, but all the Neon movies are on Hulu, and I was like, maybe I can watch some of those. Like, there's a whole bunch of these that I haven't seen, so I did the bundle, and yeah, so I officially have those. So with Disney Plus, which I've never had in my entire life, we watched that new Muppet Show special.
I didn't know there was one.
There was one. It has Sabrina Carpenter and Seth Rogen was in it as well.
Okay.
And so we watched that, and we
as
are in the
themselves
minority.
Or as Muppets?
Yeah, she was like a musical guest.
Oh,
and
okay. Seth
Rogen was on it as himself as the executive producer.
But he's a Muppet.
He gets fired by the Muppets.
But Seth Rogen is also a Muppet genetically.
I mean, he could fit in.
That laugh. I mean,
yeah,
that laugh and that curly hair.
Which he didn't do. He didn't do that laugh, I don't think, in there at all.
I think contractually
he was just like standing off stage, and then they were like, yeah, we're making cuts. We're kicking you out of here. And he was like, but I'm the executive producer. And they're like, well, you're fired.
Fired. That's the Disney way.
But yeah, so neither of us cared about that really.
So it's
even
lower
though everybody
than
else seems to love it. Yeah, probably.
But it's not a movie though. You're saying it is a show.
No, it was like a 30-minute. Yeah, it was like a 30-minute.
One episode, like one-off thing.
Yep.
Oh, that's weird.
Apparently, I suspect that they were like doing a one-off thing, but then based on the response, they'll probably end up doing like a new series or something.
Oh, okay.
But that's just my speculation. I think they have said that it was just going to be a one-off thing, but we'll see if that changes. But for now, yeah, it was a one-off thing. Wasn't great. And then I was looking through, because I was adding some stuff to our watch list. So one thing that annoys the fuck out of me with Disney Plus, it's like there should be a section on there for like classic Disney. Like you would think there would be a classic Disney section.
Yeah,
but there's
would
not.
Assume.
You can't find any of the classic Disney stuff without specifically searching for it. So
really?
Like I was wanting to find the first thing that I was looking for, because I've never seen it. I don't know why that was the first thing I thought of, but I wanted to see Something Wicked This Way Comes. And I was looking. There is no classic Disney section. I was looking and looking. If you go to the horror section, the first thing that was on there.
There's horror on Disney Plus.
The first thing in the horror section in genres was 28 Weeks Later. And I was like, what the fuck?
It's a Disney
so
movie?
I had to. No, it is not.
Okay.
So I had to specifically search Something Wicked This Way Comes, and I found it, and I added it to my watch list. I had to specifically search Swiss Family Robinson to find it.
Right.
And then based on clicking on that and the suggested, then it suggests you like other classic Disney stuff.
Oh, okay.
And so I added Gus to my watch list because I want to watch that again.
What was it?
Gus.
Hold on. I'm looking these up because I don't believe they're real.
Gus is an amazing film about a mule that plays football.
Oh, with Ed Asner?
Yep. Look at the cast. Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay, this sounds kind of interesting. Don Knotts.
Yeah. So, yep.
Tim Conway. Yeah. Okay.
Yep. It's a mule that plays football for an NFL team called the California Atoms, and it has the ability. He makes it onto the football team because it can specifically kick a field goal from any point on the field.
I love this.
And
so the synopsis for those who aren't familiar with Gus, which is me. The inept California Atoms, floundering in the cellar of the National Football League, welcome the team's newest member, a mule capable of place kicking a football 100 yards with deadly accuracy.
Yeah.
That's the synopsis. Holy cow.
So they're like the worst team in the NFL. Yeah. And they hire this mule, and it kicks. So they'll snap the ball, and it'll go to like a close-up of the football with a fake little donkey foot that hits it. And then a shot of the football flying through the air with like a woo, 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 sound effect.
Sure.
And yeah, it can specifically make a field goal from anywhere on the field.
So they just had a donkey standing on a football field.
Yeah.
They didn't have to train him. Okay. So, but they didn't have to train him to kick a ball. They just zoomed in on it.
Yep.
Cropped in on it.
That's right.
And cut to a fake
and
foot.
Then cut to a football flying through the air. Yeah. And
Gus.
then
Never heard of this.
Yeah, it's fantastic. And then it's great, and I haven't seen it in a long time.
96 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really something. They try to get it drunk, like the opposing team tries to get. Pretty sure it's the first movie ever to feature the line, "There's no rule that says this animal can't play."
Oh, it's the Air Bud.
Yeah,
it's starter.
Gus, is the originator of that. Unless there's
Bud
another one I'm not
Disney?
familiar with. I believe so.
So Disney's just been reusing that line for like 60 years now.
Hey, if it ain't broken, don't fix it, right?
That's the Disney way.
So I added all these to my watch list, and because of Gus, there were all of these. If you like click on Gus on Disney Plus, and there's like the suggested tab or like similar titles tab. And so I was able to go down a rabbit hole of all kinds of animal movies. Mm-hmm. And
I'm looking at several on the IMDb similar films. I'm curious
if you're going
to name any of them.
We watched one. I found one and immediately watched it called Perry, about a squirrel.
I never heard of this either.
1957. It's
Perry.
A shockingly stressful, like pseudo nature documentary kind of thing, sort of, about this squirrel living in a tree, and it's getting constantly attacked by everything. And we're almost positive that the Disney Corporation is like definitely putting this squirrel into harm's way multiple times. They set its tree on fire at one point. Like we're definitely skeptical that they're actually in the wild shooting all of this stuff. It seems like maybe they were on a set for at least portions.
How do you spell Perry?
Perri.
Ah, okay. Oh, yep. There it is. 57.
It was an Academy Award nominee for Best Original Score, I believe.
True life nature photography is used to tell the tale of a female tree squirrel named Perry, who encounters many different forest creatures, both friendly and dangerous, as she grows up through the 4 seasons and finds a mate named Poro.
It was harrowing.
Really?
Yeah.
And you've seen this before?
No.
Oh, okay.
Nope. I was aware of its existence because I think we might have had it at the video store that I worked at. I think I remember I recognized the cover art, but I didn't know anything about it or what it was. Mm-hmm. And I stumbled upon it, and I was like, oh my God, it's a squirrel film. And I immediately clicked play. It's also 75 minutes long, so I was like, fuck yeah, I'm watching this before work. And then was not prepared for how disturbing it's going to be.
Here are some quick IMDb reviews of Perry. I'm just going to read just the title of the review. 8 out of 10 stars. Some very beautiful nature shots. Another one, 8 out of 10 stars. A squirrel for all seasons. 10 out of 10. Just found a childhood memory. Okay, so that one's nostalgic. Okay. And then another 10 out of 10 that says the title is Don't Listen to Them. I will read the first line here. This is an exceptional piece of filmography, capturing the ins and outs of nature. Huh.
Weirdly worded.
Yeah.
There's on a letterbox here is a 4-star out of 5 from Krieg, who says, the fact that this random squirrel documentary was the most riveting thing I've seen in ages. ... Perry is an icon.
4 out of 10?
Out of 5.
Oh, out of 5. Okay.
Yes.
I see. So
3.5 stars from Ken, who says the cast looked like they were having fun.
That's good.
Actually, more stressful than Uncut Gems. I did not stop screaming. 4 stars from this person.
Was it really that harrowing?
It was pretty stressful.
The tags on IMDb are adventure. Would you agree with that?
Yeah.
Family. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
Fantasy.
Yeah, there is a weird squirrel dream sequence. I will say that.
And then finally, it's also listed as romance.
Yeah, definitely. That's accurate.
I mean, you're
I co-sign those. Yeah.
I don't think I'll never have Disney Plus. So I mean,
it's no. I mean, all of this to say, it wasn't bad. It just It's going on the I wouldn't watch it again list with the Smashing Machine.
Did you know that was based on a novel?
Perry and the Smashing Machine can be a double feature. No,
Perry and the Smashing Machine is an awesome band name. Perry and the Smashing Machine. Yeah, it was written by Felix Sultan, the novel.
Well, can't say I congratulate him, but
he was a writer and director known for Bambi.
Ooh, no thanks.
Poor as a Church Mouse. A German film, or Swiss film, maybe. It's hard to tell. I can't pronounce the title.
A Serbian film?
No, it wasn't Serbian, for sure. And then apparently the novel that inspired Perry.
Well, he should leave animals alone and stop killing animals in his stories.
He also wrote the Shaggy Dog, the '94.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Okay.
What a career.
What a career.
Well, and then I've capped off the last few days with some not pleasant documentaries. I watched a BBC. Well, I don't know if it was a BBC documentary, actually. No, it was called Stephen, The Murder That Changed a Nation. About this dude, Stephen Lawrence, who was a 18-year-old. And this was 1993, if I'm not mistaken. Okay. And he was murdered by some white supremacists on his, while waiting for a bus to go home.
Wow. Dang.
And essentially, at least from what I could gather by the documentary, it was similar in cultural impact to Britain as the Rodney King situation was here.
Oh, really?
Where this sparked a huge thing apparently.
But so with Rodney King, there was backlash at the police, and there was a backlash at the Los Angeles government. So was this just people suddenly became mad about white nationalism? Neo-Nazis?
Well, it was the police as well, because they did absolutely nothing. And nobody got in trouble for it, basically.
It's even worse, yeah.
The police didn't really collect any evidence. They didn't do anything. They never charged anyone or anything. They arrested some people at one point and then let them go. And effective that was basically policing. It. And so there was all of this outcry about but if it was a white kid who got murdered, then the police would have fucking been all over this.
Yes.
But because this was a black youth,
it
just happened, and then basically. So that sparked a whole big thing. Apparently, I learned about that from last week. I mentioned, I think on the recording, I don't remember if it was on or off the recording, I mentioned Bob Vylan, the rap duo.
Yeah,
they had in one of their songs, they reference Stephen Lawrence.
Oh,
he said,
okay.
Because they have their song, "We Live Here," about being black in England, and he has a line where he says, "Remember Stephen Lawrence? He too is free to roam. 18 years old, at the bus stop, murdered on his way home." And I was like, "What is this?" And I looked it up, and I found this documentary, and I was like, "Oh wow, yeah, this is
fascinating
a big thing." Yeah, so
fascinating as far as how you found
the
subject. Yeah.
So that was an upsetting documentary.
I imagine.
I showed my partner unedited footage of a bear, the Adult Swim short film.
Oh,
which
is that one again?
You're watching bear footage.
Yes.
And then a YouTube ad starts playing.
I think I remember this.
But I know I've seen it. The ad just continues, and eventually the music stops, and this woman gets attacked by a doppelganger of herself, and she it goes fucking off the rails, as Adult Swim shorts are to do.
Have there been any recent
I don't know. I was wondering that as well.
Is Adult Swim even still a thing?
There was a peak period 10 years ago where these were fucking incredible, and my partner does not like any of them. She thinks too many cooks is garbage, I think was the quote.
Really?
And she did not like This House Has People in It.
That maybe that's what I'm thinking of. This house has people in it. Is that the one with like the weird like murderer vibe, where like, there's like a guy out the window? You know what I'm talking about? And I think there was like a website dedicated to it too. Am I just speaking out my ass right now?
Maybe, I don't know. This is the one. This house with people in it is the one that's like all security camera footage around the house.
No, that one's awesome too. Yes.
This woman is like just
in the floor,
face down in the kitchen, and like nobody is acknowledging it really at first. Yeah. And then like down in the basement in the camera, you can see her like face coming through the ceiling, and she's just like slowly sinking through the floor. And all this other shit's going on. No, I don't know.
Was there a website associated with that one then?
Yeah. So I watched. For any listeners, this house has people on it. Go watch it on YouTube. It's like 10 minutes maybe or so.
They're all about that, yeah.
It's one of my favorite short films I've ever watched ever. Yeah. And so it's a 10-minute short film, but there is also a like explaining this house has people in it video on YouTube that is like an hour and 40 minutes long. And it is fucking insane how many like layers and hidden things there are in this. But yeah, I think there was, because I think there's like a dude, because in the living room footage, there's like a grandma watching television, and she's watching this like infomercial.
Yes.
For this dude like making clay sculptures or something. And that guy is the director of the short film. But I think he maybe references like a website or something. I don't there is a website.
There's like an Easter egg sort of thing. Yeah.
That but like also the password is like an Easter egg that's hidden within the short film as well to like get into the website.
Yeah.
And there's like all these hidden layers and like shit that you can get into to figure out like what the fuck is happening with the people in this house. And
I think that's the one that I was
this disease that they have and stuff.
Yes. It was really good.
What you were thinking of, maybe was there are like a few moments where like the camera will like zoom in to the window at the living room window, and you'll see like a thing, like something move past the window really quickly, and you don't know, it's just like a weird shape that goes past. And I don't know, I've always loved that one, even if I don't understand
there's so much to like,
it's fucking incredible.
Like each viewing, there's so much to like take from that short.
And I love the like dad or the husband character is like just goes fucking insane, and he's in the basement like shouting out like religious, like he goes on like these like rants where he's down there and he's just like, we're a family, we love each other. I love that short film so much. That one and Too Many Cooks are like almost tied with like as being like my favorite short film maybe that I've ever watched. I love those both so much.
This house has people in it because it's just, there's so much depth to it. I think I like Too Many Cooks for the simple fact that like it's just like a perfect like portray of absurdity, and it both is absurd while also like shining a mirror on absurdity, with like the dressing of it initially being like how absurd all of those fucking like sitcoms were from the 90s with like their intros and shit. And it just keeps pounding that hammer over and over again until it builds and builds and builds. So yeah, I like them both, but I think for very different reasons. Yeah,
same. I love a part that I always bring up, because I'll bring it up Too Many Cooks at home sometimes, and she gets really annoyed. But there's
the song is annoying, but it's supposed to be.
There's this part that I love where it's like the killer. And it's the part where like the killer is in all of the different scenes now, but it's like the same scenes again, but like with the killer in them.
Yes.
And there's a part where it's in the kitchen, and he pulls like a human foot on a tray out of the oven, and he like turns to the camera, and the audience goes, "Oh!" He's holding this tray with the human foot, and he like shrugs.
Yep.
And then fucking Smarf. I always love Smarf as well. I don't know. The Too Many Cooks is a masterpiece, I think. So yeah, I showed her that unedited footage of a bear, which she was not too taken with, but I hadn't seen it in a long time, so I enjoyed it. And then there is a.
Are you counting these as part of your 365?
I don't. Letterboxd does.
Oh, okay. So you're being forced to count them, or you're not counting
them? As long as my Letterboxd films number reaches 365.
Oh, so
that's all that matters.
Okay. So then it is predicated on if Letterboxd has it. Okay.
Yes. And so I'm at 67 at the time of this recording. And so then after that, on the 18th, 2 days ago, there is a streaming service / website, Arte, A-R-T-E.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it's called. And it's out of France and or Germany.
Oh.
And wonderful platform. It's ad free. You don't have to log in or anything. If you don't want to, you can. But they have like a bunch of documentaries, and they even have like concert footage and all kinds of stuff. And it's all based in like the EU. And so there's like a bunch of information about things happening in Europe and like news and all kinds of different stuff like that.
Arte, like .com, or is it?
Yeah. I believe so. Yeah. Let me just confirm that really fast. Arte.tv, arte.tv.
Okay.
And the concert stuff is surprising. Like they're like my favorite band, Enter Shikari. There's a concert of Enter Shikari on there. There's like,
that's nice.
A lot of fascinating stuff. But I watched a documentary on there the other day called White Power: Inside Europe's Far Right Movement. And that was fascinating because it's, pretty much just what's happening here, except it's in Europe, where the leaders are ranting about immigration that doesn't exist really and stuff like that. So that was really interesting and frustrating. And then just before recording today, I watched a PBS documentary called The Librarians, not to be confused with the series called The Librarians, but It's a documentary, and it's about these librarians, I think specifically in Texas is who they were following, dealing with books being banned from their schools that they work at because people say that stuff is too woke. And so they ban the books that have anything to do with like a gay character, or like if it was written by black people. That was another thing that was on there, is like any books written by like black people were banned.
Oh yeah.
Stuff like that. So that was a really frustrating documentary to watch.
Mm-hmm.
It was interesting, but also really made everyone in the house mad, I think. So, and then I got on here to record.
Well, there you go.
So that pretty much catches us up to speed on that for this past week for me. I have been working through the book, The British Empire. So I've been learning about the British Empire, which has been really interesting and awful for many reasons as well.
I was going to say,
and it also sent me down this rabbit hole. Well, for one, I was not aware or had forgotten that the British were the ones who started like the big opium crisis in China. I didn't know
really?
that. Yeah.
I don't think I knew that either.
The British were the ones that like brought opium. They like mixed the opium with tobacco and were like at the East India Company, and they were selling it to China. And so all of these opium dens started because the British were selling opium to them. Yeah. Huh. So good on you, Britain, for starting a gigantic crisis. So that was good.
You're telling me that government-backed agencies have been instilling drug crises across foreign lands.
Hard. It's tough to believe, but
for a long time. Is what you're saying.
It's tough to believe, but there might be some evidence of it.
Cocaine.
There was no, it's interesting. The East India Company section that I just finished the other day was really fascinating.
Are they British or Dutch? I thought they were Dutch.
The East India Company?
Yeah.
They had their own thing as well, I believe. The British had the East India Company. Or maybe it was a joint thing. I don't know.
I just always thought they were Dutch, but I could be way wrong on that.
Yeah, the British. And then but there was a whole like separate rabbit hole that I went down because of this book about Captain James Cook.
Oh.
And I don't think I really knew anything about him. And so they briefly mentioned him a little bit in a section, and it just like really blew my mind listening to just that brief like mention of him, that I went down my own separate rabbit hole where I got home and I found this 2.5 hour long video on YouTube about Captain James Cook and his expeditions. And I watched like half of it and then got too tired and went to sleep, and I plan to finish it soon.
Yeah.
But it was fucking fascinating.
Really?
And yeah, he might be my favorite explorer. Yeah, he's like, I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think he was the first to see the Arctic, or Antarctica rather.
Mm-hmm.
And because they were looking, well, they believed at the time that there was a gigantic, they thought that there was like a massive continent on the bottom of the earth, like bigger than anything else, because they believed that like there had to be a gigantic large mass to counterweight the weight of the rest of the earth. Otherwise it would tilt off and like spin away.
Roll away.
Yes, that's what they believed apparently.
Well, I mean, technically they're kind of right, but the logic is wrong.
Yeah, and they also thought it was way bigger than what Antarctica is, apparently.
Sure, yeah.
And so they sent him, or he had gone to like try to find this place, and he saw Antarctica, but he didn't like land on it or anything, of course. He got like within like sight seeing distance of it, and was the first, I think, believed to be the first human to ever see it. And wow. They had to leave because like his ship was literally freezing around him.
How do you know that you're the first to see something back then?
I don't know.
Like how do you know that
there's nothing written about it? I guess I don't know.
Well, right, but how do you know you're not just seeing something that even you've already seen? Like just,
I wonder that as well.
But just from like a different angle or something.
I wonder that as well, because this dude was also a map maker, and he was able to. So this final expedition that he went on. Okay, so let me back up even further. A previous journey, they had taken a native from the Tahitian Islands.
Uh-huh.
And by taken, it sounds like, I mean, what you would suspect, which would make sense, which is like kidnap and hold as a captive.
Yeah.
But this person wanted to go with them. His name was Mai, M-A-I, and...
Do we have that account from Mai's family and Mai himself?
From Mai himself, yes.
Okay.
We do.
But do we have that from Mai without a gun to his head?
Yes. I mean, I wasn't there, but allegedly, yes.
I'm just saying, the perspective of history is often written by those who did atrocities.
So about this James Cook guy is that he is like maybe the only captain who actually like respected these tribes. And would often like discourage his crew from like attacking them for things.
Who am I thinking of then that like I thought it was Cook that was like he went on to some tribal island and like did horrible things to the.
Oh, he does eventually, and I'll get to that.
Okay, so sorry, I skipped
so they took this his whole story was that he was he was in his 20s, and they had visited this island before that he's on. So he had met Europeans before.
Okay.
And Cook was there this time, and he, according to the story, like begged them to take him with them. And his whole thought process was that because he is like a bottom of the pole, like totem pole, like ranking person in this tribe, and he wanted to be able to go and then come back so he could, and then be like hailed as like a big thing.
He wanted
when
the
he got back.
Way. Okay.
Essentially, yes. So they took him with them, and he spent 2 years in England, where he got to mingle with like the royals, and he got to spend time with all these like high society people. There are paintings of him you can find from the period that they had commissioned.
Right.
That are amazing.
Did he know or understand that he was on exhibition?
I don't know.
I'm just curious, as far as, I mean, it sounds nice to say that like he met the royals and everything, but I wonder if it was really like the royals wanted to ooh and ah and oogle.
Well, they definitely did. Yeah, definitely from the story, but he was also like that with them as well. Like because they were both definitely like,
he was gaming the system.
Had never seen each other before, essentially, and so they were both. But anyway, so part of this last expedition, Cook was given like a few different tasks to complete with this expedition. One of them was he had to take a whole bunch of fucking cows and goats and sheep with him to give to Mai's tribe when they got cool. there. He was bringing Mai back with him, of course. He had, I can't remember, I think there was something else, but then like the secret part of this expedition that he was given and told not to let the others know about on his crew, where that he was supposed to try to find a northwest passage.
Yes.
And so like this whole area up by like Alaska, nobody knew anything about anything up in that area at this time still. They knew about the western coast of North America, like where California and Washington and stuff is, but anything like to the immediate north of that, like where like Canada and Alaska is,
Vancouver
up
and that
in there,
area, yeah.
Nobody knew anything about what was there or anything. Like there's no maps of any of that or anything. And so he's like, okay.
Big question mark on the globe.
Yes. So 2 ships were on this expedition. The one that he was captain of, and then he had his second in command was captain of the second ship. And they had worked together before on other expeditions and stuff like that and had like a good relationship apparently. Well, that dude, the second in command on the other ship, is starting to come down with tuberculosis.
Oh no.
Yes. But of course they don't really know that yet because this is like 1770s, I think. And so, what they land on a few different islands. They land in like New Zealand. They land on one point on some island that that nobody had ever been on before that they found. I can't remember what the name of it is, but they were hoping to find land because they were at a point where like they needed to get these animals off to like graze and like get their strength back because they're getting battered around underneath the ship on open water where they don't belong. And they're surrounded by fog and they can't see anything. So they're just literally sailing blindly with only his compass.
It's over here somewhere.
And then they accidentally landed on this island that didn't have any grass or trees or anything on it. So they couldn't do anything for the animals. But they did find a bunch of seals and a few other animals that have almost certainly never seen humans before.
Oh, wow.
And so they were able to just like walk up to these seals, and these seals weren't afraid because they had never seen these things before.
Just curious, yeah.
And these people battered the seals to death.
Of course, that's what humans
a ton
do.
of them, and used their blubber for like oil and their candles or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And then they hit the water again, and they eventually made it to like New Zealand. And they met these tribes. There was like a tribe that had never seen Europeans or any outsiders before, most likely. And they were like terrified, and Mai like wanted to show off like a gun because I guess
Boomstick.
in his head he remembered being like amazed by this whenever he first saw it. So he like pulled out a gun and fired it, and these natives like fucking darted off, and they just like hid.
Yeah.
Because they were like, what the fuck?
What the hell is this magic?
These white people, what the fuck? But anyway, long story short, they eventually get to the Tahitian Islands where Mai belongs. And I'm curious about your question as well, but they knew that was the right island.
Yeah, he understood that he could gain from this. Not to say that
as far as
that
like
was his motive, but
I mean, as far as like knowing where you are and knowing that this is an island that you've been to before, they did somehow. I don't have an answer for that.
But also, I mean, I think that just coming back to his tribe, he's going to be looked at as like an oracle of sorts, having traveled away.
Well, I think we're talking about two different things now. Because you were asking earlier about like how did they know back then that they weren't just like hitting an island that they had already been to before.
Oh, sorry.
Like
No, yeah.
Finding a new place,
I was stuck on the part of him realizing that he was doing the right thing. Yeah. You're right. Yeah, okay.
But yeah, no, yeah, I was just saying that somehow they did know because they knew how to get back to those Tahitian islands that he was from.
Yeah, they just randomly find it.
But they also accidentally found Hawaii later on in the story. And so that my dude gets back, and also Cook inadvertently causes an ecological disaster on that island by putting rats onto it.
Oh, fantastic.
So their ship is like infested with like black rats from England, and he was like wanting to get rid of them, so he connected a rope to the shore and anchored off the shore, and so the rats went across the rope, and then so like years later this island was like completely destroyed.
Do you think those rats knew?
Like that they were gonna fuck this place up?
No, just like this is a new place. Do you think that like the rats knew that this was new? or,
I don't
was
know.
it just
I
like
don't know if they have that kind of mental capacity.
okay? Well, how dare you?
I mean,
I've seen a rat help a guy cook a meal, so I think there's some.
That was really impressive, yeah.
Mental capacity
and it sounded like Patton Oswalt too.
It did. It's good impersonation, yeah.
So they also, because there's also like journals and writings from these people on the ship, of course, and from Cook himself, and apparently the tribe, Mai's tribe, like didn't give a fuck about him at all, about Mai
afterwards.
But as soon, yeah.
Oh wow.
Like they didn't like go up to him or anything until he took out these like trinkets that he brought with him from England. And then they were obsessed, and they like these red feathers that he had with him that he took from England or were given to him to bring back with him.
Brought back.
They were like fascinated with these red feathers.
Materialistic
that he had.
bastards.
Yes, exactly. And Cook actually in his writings, because they cited it in this video multiple times, his writings, he actually was questioning multiple points on this voyage, like, is there any positive effect that comes from Europeans visiting these tribes? Because all that is happening that I notice is they are becoming infatuated with material things, because that isn't a thing with these tribes, and it's becoming a thing the more that we come here. Right. And what I was saying about him, like, having respect for these tribes, because there is a lot of these situations where, like, because there is no such thing as material possessions for these tribes, they'll just like go onto the ship and like take something.
Yeah, because it's just.
But they don't realize that
it's property
to these Europeans. Like, that's my thing, and you're stealing it. They have no concept of that, and so they would take something from the ship, and his crew would be requesting, like, "Can I shoot that person? They just stole this thing," and he is like. He would be the person that would say, like, no, you may not, because they don't have a concept of like what stealing is. To these people, they're not doing something wrong. Yeah. This is just how they are. This is different culture. He like understood this is a different culture than what we have. Whereas his crew were very much like, let's fucking kill these fucks.
He stole my hat.
But it was a mystery, as you were asking me about. They mention it in the video. It is like, to this day, nobody knows for sure what it was about him, but there was like a snap at some point, because syphilis. They had on this one island. No, he was also the only one that was not fucking like villagers and stuff.
We didn't have to fuck villagers to get syphilis. I'm just saying that was just rampant back then.
Well, these people were all giving it VD to the natives and stuff, and getting it from them, and all this and that, and he was the only one that wouldn't. But anyway, no, I don't think there was any evidence of him having any of that, or if so, I haven't been made aware of it yet at this point where I am. But anyway, at some point, so they were on an island, and there were these tribes people, and everything was fairly cordial, and they were like exchanging things and like showing each other stuff and getting along fairly well for like however, like 2 weeks they were there. But a goat went missing. And for some reason, and apparently in the writings of his crew, they were like disturbed and like really shocked at his response. But he apparently took the chief of this tribe and was like asking him where the goat is, and the chief of the tribe was like, I don't know. And he fucking tied this dude to the tree and like lashed the fuck out of him.
Damn.
And they all said that this is not anything that he has ever done before. And
was he fucking the goat?
Don't know. But anyway, the goat eventually came back.
Oh shit.
But a separate goat disappeared. And he took two different goats. The other one is now gone. And he took this like group of people into the island looking for it, and like asking people, where the fuck is our goat? And they went to this area where there were like huts set up and stuff, and they fucking burnt them down and like destroyed this village. And
what's with the goat?
I don't know. Eventually the goat reappeared also, but they never knew like who took it or why or like where it was or anything, but it eventually was there again, apparently.
It's Black Phillip and just fucking just fucking with the island by causing this white guy to get pissed off.
Yeah, so then they fucking left. But that was like the only time, for some reason, like nobody knows why all of a sudden he reacted.
I think that's the story that I knew, was about like him going crazy on an island.
Yeah,
I didn't realize there was a goat involved. Yeah, it's very out of character, it seems.
But so we reached a point where they're now going to sail across the Pacific, the largest empty space on planet Earth. And they're going to look for this Northwest Passage. And he finally has told them, like, this is the other part of the expedition that I was sent here to do.
Right.
And so everybody's kind of like, oh, fuck. And then he's telling them, like, you guys need to stop drinking your grog. They're fucking booze. Because we don't have enough to do this whole journey. So you can either drink it now, and then we get up there, it's going to be cold as fuck, and you're going to be screwed because you're not going to have booze. Or you can stop drinking it now, and then when we get there, hit it.
Yeah.
And so they were like, all right. And so apparently they're not drinking. The other dude on his boat has tuberculosis, and his surgeon on his boat now has tuberculosis as well.
Oops.
And so they're definitely, and according to their writings, I guess, they were both like, if we go up there, we're definitely going to be dead.
Yeah, we're fucked. So we're going to drink.
And so both of them apparently were, I think in their writings, they were talking about how they were planning on asking Cook, can we stay here on these islands? That way when we die, we'll be in like a paradise.
Yeah.
But then they didn't. They went on the trip. So they went. And so there is nothing on the maps that they have. There is just a big empty space between there and where North America is.
Right.
And so they're like, however far into their journey, not expecting to see anything for like over a month. And then they see land. They start to see moss, and they notice birds, and they're like, what the fuck? Like, we shouldn't be near anything. And then they see land, and it turns out it was modern day Kauai.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And they are definitely the first Europeans to ever land on this place.
I bet, yeah.
And
there
were
middle of nowhere, literally.
Tribe people like took to their canoes and like went out and met their ship as it was approaching. And one of them on a whim like shouted out in Mai's language from his tribe, and they understood. So this tribe knows the same language. And so James Cook was definitely like quite perplexed. Like, how can these how did these like tribes get to these far distances? And like, what the fuck? Because they also only have these canoes. They don't have giant ships like the British fucking army has. And so he was like forever like perplexed. Like, how did these fucking tribes get to these places? But anyway.
What year was this? Do you know?
This was like 1778, 1779 maybe.
Right.
And so so they land on the island, and that's pretty much where I left off on my story. Was like they're on Kauai and they're meeting this tribe, and they're the first, probably the first people not from this island that this tribe has ever met. Also
has to be.
And so, I thought that was really fascinating. And he's just like, well, we fucking discovered a new island because this isn't on the map.
Put it on the map,
But the video is also fascinating because it's like they showed how accurate his maps were that he made. Because I guess he prided himself on like his accuracy and all this stuff, and like what a great explorer he was. And the video pulled up a side-by-side of his map of an island compared to the modern day satellite image of it, and it's fucking almost exactly the same. It's crazy. And that really blew my mind just trying to imagine map making.
Because I mean, you have nothing to base it off of other than like the stars. Like, that's it.
Yeah. And then also just like the thought about these people didn't know where the fuck they were going or like what they were going to find. You're just like sailing off into nothing. You don't know what the fuck.
It's one thing to like walk into the woods, a mile or what, not even a mile, like just a few 100 feet, and be like, I don't know where I'm at. I only know what's behind me. I don't know, I don't know what's left, right, or whatever. I just know where I've come from. I cannot fathom being in a place that is like days behind me is the last place I set foot on. And all around me is absolutely nothing but water.
Yeah.
There's no like, little peak of like a mountain to be like, okay, we're a little bit further away or we're headed towards it. It's just water after, like, are you even moving other than, the stars have slightly changed position. Yeah.
Yeah. Plus just like we have maybe some theories about what might be ahead, but we also don't know. We have no idea what like where we're going or what we could find when we get there. There's no like, because obviously now you can just like pull up Google Maps and you can just see literally anything anywhere.
Sure, yeah.
But just imagining
There's
back
nothing.
then, just like, well, we think that there's like a fucking body of water that connects this side of North America to the other side, and we want to find it for a trade route.
Yeah.
But don't know. Yep. We don't know what's there. If there's anything there, we don't know what the fuck is.
And even then, it's like,
sailing into blindness.
Talking about like discovering one of the many islands that make up the Hawaiian Islands, and whatever path they took from the previous set of islands to get there. Like, they've only unlocked, air quotes, a very small section of a very vast unknown, in the sense that you can only see roughly like 11 or 12 miles in any direction over the horizon. So really, it's like a 24 to let's just say 30 mile circle that they're in the middle of, over an ocean that is many thousands of miles across.
And that's something that the guy who made this video that I've been watching specifically mentions as well. He's like, because he also like takes the time out in this video to show you like, let me just give you some perspective, like how insane it is that he just accidentally found this also, because the dude also like shows a map of the Pacific Ocean and like the distance to North America, the distance to Japan, and the distance from the islands that he left from. And just like the fact that out of this gigantic, completely empty just body of water, he accidentally found this.
Yeah. I mean,
it's like, it's just basically it's fucking crazy.
The middle of the ocean is like where yeah.
It's insane. Like the odds of him finding that are just so incredibly low. Obviously it was just by chance, but like the odds of them accidentally discovering that was pretty crazy.
I mean, again, it's really hard to like say, because just how history is recorded and who records it and who explains it. But it almost makes you wonder if like Mai didn't have a little bit of say in that, even if it was like in the sense that like his tribe had like generational tales of like people leaving and heading that direction, or whatever it was, or I just wonder if like there was a little bit of something about that, because clearly it's like it's one thing for there to be another civilization on the island that he finds. Like that's separate from just finding the island in the first place. And that can only be helpful, like I said, if there's even a civilization there. Like he could have just found an island that was uninhabited, right? But the fact that there was even land there in the first place, like even if in my scenario, like helped a little bit as far as like, generations ago, the tales were that, people left in this direction or whatever, right? Still doesn't have any fucking idea after like 3 days of travel if they've kept that same heading, or if the people who left kept that same heading, or even made it anywhere at all. Because again, no one knows that there's even land out there, let alone that there's also a civilization. So that's just, that is mind-blowing.
And I did also forget to mention I can't remember how this happened, but there was a dude from his tribe that fucking like they fucked this dude over, and he fucking hated Mai, and so he like instantly had like a gigantic enemy like upon returning.
Do you think Mai was just an asshole on his island? Possibly.
I don't know, but the stories from their voyage before they got to his place to drop him off are really disturbing. He was the one like leading a lot of violence against these tribes that they were encountering. Like Cook's men seemed like they were not even as like initiative to violence as Mai started being. Like I guess Cook started writing that Mai was the one who like would consistently keep requesting like can I kill this person? Like on all these places that they would go to.
He's just a cocky asshole, and his tribe wanted him gone.
They said,
and his tribe was like, if you leave with him and come back with knowledge, we'll respect you. And then whenever he left, they were like, God, fine, that
we'll never see that guy
gone.
again.
Like, Jesus.
Yeah, so whenever I mentioned like them burning down that village and stuff, he was, according to their writings, he was the one that was like leading the charge on that. And he like, yeah, it's really fucked up.
But again, also
if true.
Yeah, also Oh, it was the island guy that did all the horrible things. We were like, no, don't do that. Stop. Oh, this is horrible. Yeah.
So they got to his place and they built him a house on the beach there.
Oh, nice.
Like they built him an English style home with like the wood and like from the trees
on
and stuff there.
Or on what would come?
On the Tahitian Islands, I think it was.
Tahitian, okay.
And it was actually a pretty sweet moment that him like citing like where they said their goodbyes, because it was obviously they would never see each other again. But yeah, so it's like he like went onto the boat for the last time, it said, and like was saying his goodbyes, and then whenever he got to cook, according to the story, he finally like broke down and he like gave him like a big hug, and they said their goodbyes and they dropped him off, and they said that the last thing they saw of him, he was like on the shore like watching them leave, like still sobbing as they were sailing away.
In his mind he's thinking, they're gonna kill me here, they're gonna kill me.
Well, so the guy in the video said like at the end of this video, we'll continue what happened with Mai after they left him. But I cheated and I went to the Wikipedia page for Mai.
Oh, spoiler alerts.
He died 30 months after getting dropped off there back at home. He was only like 28 years old.
Who recorded that?
We suspect. I don't know. I didn't look at the sources on Wikipedia.
I call BS.
But apparently there was like a war with another tribe.
Mm-hmm.
And he died, according to the Wikipedia that I read, I think they said that he died of natural causes, what it said. But he was like 28 or 29, believed to be. But yeah, again, I didn't look at what sources that was from. And I haven't gotten, obviously, to the end of the video to where that guy will say, because he's been good with citing where he's getting a lot of stuff from. Which a lot of this stuff he got from a book about James Cook's expeditions called The Wide, Wide Sea is the name of the book. And I plan on reading that one too, I think.
The Wide, Wide Sea.
I think this is a fascinating story. Yeah, The Wide, Wide Sea.
I mean, it is fascinating, but it's I still approach it with this idea, this like, I have a hard time anymore believing fully and without skepticism some of the historical tales that are out there.
Definitely.
Only because,
the source of the information you're getting should always be taken into account.
Yeah, and not that like they're lying on purpose, or like there's like any kind of malicious intent behind it, but just the simple fact that like, just to make yourself sound a little bit more grandiose, or make the situation sound a little bit harder, or whatever it is, or to give credit where it maybe isn't due to someone or yourself. There's just no way to know. And I think I truly believe like there was a sense of, I want to believe that there was a sense of respect for, the discovery of it, in the honesty, and just, reporting what was happening as it happened. I want to believe that. But I also think that like there was an understanding of the benefit of exaggeration and storytelling. So it's a weird balance. I don't know.
Yeah, well, it's I've been really enthralled by the story. I think I'm like slightly over halfway through that 2.5 hour video where I left off. I already know, because of the mention of this expedition in that British Empire book, that James Cook doesn't make it out of this expedition alive.
Yes, yeah.
I know that. And I'm curious to see if our 2 tuberculosis brothers get out alive or not.
They're
Curious to see how that turns out.
They actually survive.
Survive the like deadliest disease that mankind has ever faced.
Well, I mean, one of the treatments, it wasn't a cure, but it was one of the treatments of symptoms was cold, fresh air. And I mean, they built whole hospitals with that design in mind.
Well, we'll see if it pays off for our boys.
Well, I mean, it didn't work. It didn't save lives in these hospitals either. But,
yeah.
But, I mean, you know.
Hey, I don't know if these guys die. They might pull through. They might be like the first survivors, maybe. I don't know.
They are the cure.
Oh, James Cook did... he was like the first, or at least one of the first documented captains to like prevent his crew from getting scurvy.
I think I knew that too. Yeah.
He did not understand what caused it or why.
Yeah.
But because apparently on a lot of these fucking disgusting expeditions, the crews would eat only salted meat and biscuits.
That's it.
And that would be what they would eat. And he made it a point anytime they stopped at one of these places to get like fresh vegetables and fruits and stuff like that. At the behest of his crew, like he would like make them all eat this stuff.
For some reason,
and
it was
they
beneficial.
just didn't get scurvy.
Yeah.
And he was just like, I think it has something to do with like a varied diet, but I don't
know why.
Out of my pay grade.
This is the result that I'm getting. So
and it was like 100. I think they said it was like 170 years before we knew that it was caused by vitamin C deficiency.
Right. Yeah.
But he was at least smart enough to be like, hey, maybe we should fucking eat some like fresh fruits and vegetables
other than the 2 things we brought with us.
This. Yeah. So I thought that was really interesting too. I don't know. He's just yes, by the records that we have access to.
Yeah.
Fascinating individual and a really interesting story. And so I've been really enjoying that. The British Empire book so far has just been really interesting in general, but I'm like not even halfway through that. I don't think it's pretty big, but so that's been taking up a portion of my week as well, whenever I have time.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, like there is this part of me that really is in awe about that whole, I mean, you know, you have to like remove all of the like horrible atrocities, which is really hard to do, or, you know, it's hindsight now. Right. But, but there is also still that part of like the fascinating part of it being like the crews of those ships were like modern day astronauts, but even I think more so in the sense that like at least astronauts have some concept of like, you know, where they're going. I mean, you know, as far as where we've been so far, you know, like we at least know where the moon is, right?
Yeah,
we can see the moon.
Most bare. That's what I was going to say. The bare minimum you can see. Yeah, like where you're. Yeah, wanting to go.
It's still an insane distance away. There's still an incredible amount of hurdles to even achieving to get there. You know, but at least you know it exists. Your destination. Mm-hmm. These guys had no concept of things. It was either just a rumor, or like actually we don't know what's out there, and it's your job to go figure it out. And like that's just unfathomable in today's world. Mm-hmm. Of, you know, like I said, there are places where we haven't gone yet as humans, but usually it's like they're, you know, it's not that we don't know that they don't exist. It's just that we haven't been there yet. You know, like a remote forest or, you know, a cave system or whatever, right? It's like we have the technology to like, you know, scan for that shit or at least see it on a giant GPS screen or something, you know, something, right? Mm-hmm. We don't necessarily know what's on the ground, sure. But we at least know that place physically exists. I just can't imagine just being like, we're going this way, boys. And who knows, right? It's like...
Yeah, that's what also really scary, the portion toward the beginning of their expedition where it said that they became like... They hit a bunch of fog and... they said, according to their writing, like you couldn't see within like more than a few feet outside
terrifying.
of the boat. And so they like didn't know where they were. They were relying solely on Cook's fucking like compass. And he was like, put the fucking sails all the way up. And so he's just completely blindly just sailing in a direction.
But if there's fog,
trying to go,
there's probably not any wind either. So you're just sitting there, you know, as far as like, you're not really moving fast. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So they, that was fucked up. And they eventually found an island.
Would it be more fucked up in that situation to not be able to see where you're going, or to be able to see that there's nowhere to go? I don't really know what would be more, because I mean, I've heard stories of modern day, some people, whenever they're on like a cruise ship or whatever, you know, one of the days that you're just out at sea, which you're not thousands of miles from land. You're usually just like, you know, 40 or 50 nautical miles from some island or whatever. But it's far enough away that you can't see anything but water. And I've heard stories of people like you freak out, or these folks did. They sort of panic, not being able to see anything but water, and not having any, you know, bearing as far as what direction they're going, that they're even moving other than the waves around the boat. And it kind of freaks them out.
I've experienced that. I didn't freak out, but whenever we went to Connecticut, we went to Connecticut.
Connecticut's terrifying, though. It is.
Connecticut or Massachusetts. We did a whale watching thing.
Oh yeah.
And we went far enough out off the shore that you couldn't see the land anymore, and that was the first time I've ever experienced that. But the only part that was just like disturbing to me was that by the time we were heading back, I was like deep into seasickness.
Oh yeah.
And I like went to the restroom and I was throwing up, and I would just kind of like hang in there for like a few minutes after throwing up and be like, okay, I think I'm okay. And then I'd come out and I'd look and I'd be like, oh my God, I still don't fucking see any land. We're not even close to being back
We're
yet.
We're still out here, yeah.
And then I'd go sit down and it was just fucking hot and miserable. And then I'd get sick again and I'd go throw up again. And then same thing all over again. I'd be like, oh my God, there's still no land anywhere fucking around.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that would be.
Yeah, so that was the worst. But I thankfully didn't have any
like panic
kind
attack.
of like mental like thing purely from not being able to see land. But I did mentally clock, like I've never been out to sea to where you can't see land. This is a first.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was an interesting thought.
Because I mean, you know, the concept, at least this is from my perspective of like the issue with fog is not being able to see, like especially in like a car or whatever, not being able to see where you're going, or if you're just like standing around, it's the fear of not being able to see what's around you. You know, like it's almost, I mean, it's not being blind, but it's definitely as close as any seeing-eyed person could experience blindness, in the sense that there's nothing around you to like base yourself off of. But I think that's also because I've never, and I don't think many generations of humans at least have ever experienced anything where it's like I can see for as far as my eyes will let me see on the clearest day, and there's nothing around me, and I also don't know what's out there. I don't know what would be more terrifying.
Yeah, they noted that the fog was thick enough that like if you were on the back end of the boat, you couldn't see the front.
That would be kind of scary.
The front end of the boat. That's fucked up.
Yeah. Wow, that's wild.
I don't know. Just imagining being in the ocean somewhere and then just like dense fog and just having no idea. I think that would be fucking terrifying. And then also they had a second ship, and so they were also afraid of colliding into each other.
Oh, okay.
And so Cook and the second ship, they said every hour they would fire, like every hour on the hour they would shoot their guns.
Hopefully not at each other.
To let each other know.
Gun. Fuck!
Yeah, because they were equally afraid of colliding and of like losing each other, and so they would try to make sure they could like know where each other was based
that
on
makes
the
sense.
sound.
Yeah. Hopefully they were firing the guns like
I don't
up
know.
in the air or something.
Yeah, well, they didn't mention anybody getting killed. The only parts so far of anybody dying has been really quickly on Cook's boat, I believe, because that one left first and this other boat left later, and they eventually met up. But
is there any mention of the other crew and boat, or do we not care at all as far as history goes?
no, there is. Yeah,
Okay.
there's definitely the
I didn't know if
writings
they got
from
like overlooked.
the guy with tuberculosis, and I think of their crew, because there's been mentions of like a dude, at least one guy that died on that one as well. So far from where I am.
Okay.
It's like pretty quickly, or within the first couple of weeks, somebody had fallen off of Cook's boat, and they just never saw him again. And they don't know. I guess in their writings, they suspected that apparently, like, they were guessing that a trail of sharks that had been following their boat must have gotten him, because after he fell into the water, they just never saw him again. Like, there wasn't any scream, because it said that they quickly dispatched like a small boat to like go rescue him, and they just never saw him.
It didn't say like why he fell in either. He just like accident.
No, I think they speculated that he was drunk or something and fell over.
Yeah, makes sense.
But don't know. And there was a similar thing, I think, from the other ship. There was a guy that had like fallen into the water, and then they just never found him.
Did the sharks know what was about to happen?
Like they've been used to drunkards falling overboard.
Well, I mean, if this is the first ship of this size in their water, and
it wasn't, I don't think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, this was definitely like at this portion of their journey. They were like, I think they were on their way to. There was like a port on the southern tip of Africa that was kind of like, it was almost like a tavern kind of stuff. Like all of these ships that would go through this route, they would all stop there and they would like replenish their stuff, and they would like mingle, and there was like this big like gathering spot. Basically, they were on their way to that, if I recall correctly. And yeah, some dude fell over, and just the idea of like this guy fell overboard, and after he fell over, we just never saw him again. It's fucked up.
No one even like looked either. They just knew he was gone.
It was like, well, no use wasting our time on this.
Charles.
But I think that, they specifically mentioned, I think, that they never heard him like yell or scream or anything. He just fell over, and then they just never heard from him again, and that was it.
Like they just hear like some splashing of water.
Yeah,
and that's it.
There's no.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, I don't know. It's this whole story is just like really blowing my mind. But yeah, I was like watching this video, and I just unfortunately got too tired because I just worked all night, and I was like, okay, I gotta go to bed, and I like paused it, and I was over halfway through it, and I was like, holy fuck! I thought I was like 20 minutes in. This is crazy. It's like more entertaining than any movies I've watched lately.
Yeah.
This, and it's not like a documentary. It's just like a video that a guy put together, and there's like pictures and stuff.
It's like a retelling of the events,
and it's really well done. I might actually even subscribe to this channel.
What was this on again?
Just on YouTube.
Okay, but I mean, but as far as like the creator, sorry, you don't know who the.
I would have to look it up real quick, which I can do.
It
was something really kind of vague, like generic sounding. It was something like great expeditions or something like that. I think I'd have to look real quick.
Well, and the reason I asked too is because you on text message,
The Great Explorers. This was uploaded 2 months ago. The video is called "The Greatest Expedition in History (parentheses Exploration). 2.5 hours.
Because you had asked me a couple days ago about Nebula, and and there are
I actually searched for Captain James Cook on there, and there were no results.
Because there are a couple of creators on there that do like in-depth history videos. I haven't watched them, but I didn't know if this was one of those.
Wow, yeah, there's a few. I'm gonna probably subscribe to this channel.
How recent is this video?
It's uploaded 2 months ago.
Okay.
He has a video that he just uploaded 2 weeks ago called "The Greatest Survival Story in History, Shackleton." It's 3 hours and 9 minutes long.
How old is this channel?
Their oldest upload is from 1 year ago.
You think this is all AI?
The voice definitely isn't. It's definitely a real person's voice.
You sure about that?
Yes.
Okay.
You can tell from the cadence, and then also somebody commented on one of them about like it's cool to hear like an actual person talking, and they responded like, yeah, thanks. Like, I forget what they said, but
okay. But you think he's actually editing these together and finding the clips or whatever and doing all the...
Now, I think that at least a portion of the images he's using, I think, are AI generated.
Because there's a lot of those.
There's no way he is like finding paintings that are specifically like pertaining to the moment of this expedition that he's talking about. So I'm pretty sure, I was thinking about that also while watching it. I'm pretty sure there are quite a few like AI generated like
there's
paintings.
There are more and more of those channels now where they cover one topic and they do longer play videos, and like the whole script and everything is basically AI generated, and even the narrator is, which I'm still curious as to if this isn't also that, because they sound human, they sound very realistic, and then like usually it's some, I don't know if it's like an individual behind the account or if it's like a team of people, but they do interact with like comments and stuff just to keep the algorithm happy. But all their content is all AI generated. That doesn't mean it's not. The one or two that I have seen, and because I didn't understand that it was AI to begin with, they were fascinating. I will give them that,
Yeah.
But I felt icky afterwards, and I was like, oh, this is all AI, But then again, I guess to pump out that much information, I don't know if. I mean, I still think it should have been a real person, but it was fascinating, I guess. So whatever.
Yeah.
We're all going to go to hell anyway and die in a fiery death. So let's speed it up, is what I say.
I'm just trying to talk about a delightful YouTube video that I saw.
I'm just trying to talk about Captain James Cook. That's all I'm talking about.
Well, I don't have access to Twitter, but he has a Twitter account linked on there, but that I can't see because it
also
wants me
doesn't
to sign in.
So.
Well, no, but I was just saying you could probably look and see if his Twitter account is suspicious.
But that's what I'm saying is that the commenting and like the interaction with is I've at least what I've seen is an actual person or a group,
right?
And then it's just like the content is 100% like made, because there's what led me to understand that the channel that I watched was AI, besides the fact that it was like visually clearly AI, like you mentioned, like the imagery and stuff, but they were pumping out these massive like 2-hour documentary style things like once a week, and I was just like, no, there's no way you're editing.
There's like at least there's like an 8-month gap in between two of these.
Yeah, there you go. So that could be a possibility.
There's a 2-month gap between two of these ones. Between that one that I was watching and the new one.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's at least like a few months in between them.
Okay, well. But again, it's still fascinating.
I don't know if that helps your case at all or anything.
I can't argue that it's not fascinating. I just wish there was like a way that, they're not using any kind of AI. Even for like the paintings or whatever that they clearly are probably having some image
there are
make
really cool like there was a part of this expedition, something that I really appreciated about this video also, aside from his like, he has a couple of those little sidebars about like I said, one example was like really trying to convey like, look at how crazy it is that he found this island in the Pacific Ocean. There was another little part where they were interacting with these tribes people on one of these other islands, and one of these tribes, the chief or whatever of this tribe, was on their boat, and he had seen a like painted portrait that was on the boat, and he was like fascinated with it. And Cook actually had their artist that was with them paint a portrait of the chief, and he showed on the video, like, and this was the painting that he made. Wow. And it's fascinating. That was incredible. I paused it and I was looking. I just
did
thought
it
that
talk
was so
about
crazy.
Anything pertaining to like what the chief like did the chief have any kind of reaction to being captured in that way, in like a likeness?
I don't think there was any mention of it. No.
Okay, because I mean that had to have been if you had no concept of of painting, at least to that level of detail, I guess. Maybe, every culture has a concept of painting, but, not to that accuracy. I just wonder if, like, there was any kind of magical thought to it as far as, like, you've captured a real moment, or, so you've frozen time, I guess, or whatever.
Yeah.
That is fascinating. Yeah, no, the whole thing is fascinating. The whole thing is deeply fascinating.
I went down. So whenever I was looking at the Wikipedia page for there were a couple of the paintings of him on there as well. There was I think there was one, or there were a couple of them, I think, that were he is like in these paintings in England, like meeting these different people and stuff. And I thought those were fascinating. There was on the Wikipedia page, like the main image on the Wikipedia page of is this like amazing painting of him, and it's really cool to see. I don't know. I like looking at some of those old paintings and just being like, this was like a fucking person that was like standing there, and this was a human being.
This was real. Yeah.
That tribe chief painting like just really blew my mind. Like I said, I like rewound it back to it and paused it, and I was like, this was that guy that was standing there, and this was what was like created of him. It's like interesting to see that like this was a person that was there. I don't know. I think that stuff is all interesting to think about.
No, it is.
I sent you that picture of that chief.
Oh wow, yeah.
The guy on the boat painted. They painted that of him on the boat.
He's got a man bun. This dude is a douche for sure.
He's a douche chief.
Yeah,
this crazy. This was a Maori tribe person, if I recall correctly.
Fascinating. Do you think
I thought that was really cool.
Do you think that the ship painter accepted, or was, well, I guess maybe he wasn't even around. I was gonna ask, do you think, okay, so maybe not this guy, but years later, whenever they still had ship painters, which was a job because somebody had to document visually what was being seen. Do you think those people, those individuals, that profession, accepted photography, or do you think they were upset by it?
It was like talkies coming into it where they're like, "Oh, this is a travesty."
Well, no, not even talkies, because talkies is just like talkies just like a different paintbrush. It's like a different color of paint. I'm talking about like a whole technology replacing your skill and making it faster and easier for anyone to be able to do it.
I'm sure just like any time that happens, yeah, probably.
And how many times has that happened in history, you think? Several,
8.
Right? Like
8 times.
Well, I mean, you're probably close, actually. I mean, as far as like 8 generations worth of, advancement or something like that. But I just wonder, like, with this whole, I know I'm getting back on AI again. Will getting back on AI.
Well, I saw this coming. Yeah.
I don't want to sound like I support it. I'm going to say that right out the gate because I don't.
Uh-oh.
But I have in the...
Wait, is that an alarm I hear?
Yes, it is.
I hear
it's a personal alarm inside of me. And this has been like bothering me personally for a few months now. And is this just something that 200 years removed from now, whatever the equal version of a technological advancement is back then, is this just that again? And like we just happen to be caught in the same time frame as like horses being replaced by a steam engine. Mm-hmm. I mean, because, and again, I don't want to sound like I'm like, maybe this is a good thing, right? I think there are better ways to fucking advance civilization.
Yes, we know you're one of the biggest AI supporters out there.
I know, I am. My AI t-shirt. That
You've been advocating to have like AI voiceover in our podcast for months.
Since before we even started the podcast.
You've been saying like we could just replace you with Gemini as the host any day. It's gonna be me and Gemini.
But do you see what I'm saying though?
Yeah. No, I've thought about that before.
Because
as well, yeah.
because I really have a personal struggle with this, because I absolutely love, from a historical standpoint, the Industrial Revolution.
I'm gonna make an edit right here where I'm gonna cut you
AI.
saying I absolutely love AI. Yeah. There's nothing in this world that is more important than AI.
No,
I love Gemini.
You can have AI do that, actually.
Yeah, AI your voice.
But what I'm saying, I really have been struggling with this personally. Like not to be too serious about this, but I do want to be serious about this. I really do have a fascination, and not just like that was interesting. Like I have like a really deep appreciation and like love, I guess is maybe too strong of a word, for the Industrial Revolution and machines in general. But it wasn't until like this whole AI bullshit came up that I really started to like deeply think about, like, that fucked over a lot of fucking people. Like, yeah, it made jobs and it advanced technology, and clearly like that's not what AI is doing. AI is strictly removing jobs. We're not adding workforces and and whatever. But it is just like feeding the capitalist machine. It is just making the end product, whatever the end product is, cheaper to do, while keeping the cost to do it for the consumer the same or higher, so that way corporations profit off of it. But I mean, that also put like a lot of people out of work. A job that would have taken, people to feed and care for the mules or the horses, farriers, stable boys, someone to build that barn and maintain it, the farmer to have all these jobs that were then eliminated because you just needed steam and coal, and you could do it. You could replace, 60 of those animals. As a kid, up until very recently, I was like, that's amazing. Like, that's awesome that we achieved that we did that. And then, like I said, the AI thing started to come around. In the past couple months, I've been like, am I a fan of something that really fucked over? And also, like, not even to mention like the amount of pollution that whole industry fucking, did, and consumed water and destroyed ecosystems, and, the same situation. And I'm just like, God, fuck, like, is this just that? But under the guise of like, oh, it's a machine, so it's different. And then, like they said, like there's AI, and it's like, are we just living through what I would have, would I have been the same me against AI if I lived back, 20 years before the Industrial Revolution, and I would have been like a 20 or 30-year-old person whenever that started to take place? Would I be just like, this is gonna be the worst thing ever, and this is horrible? Or would I also been like, I love it because it's cool, and
you're either angry or you're like,
I don't know where I would be, and I don't know if where I'm at now
is cool.
is accurate. I don't know. I don't know if like I should just be like, you know what, maybe. And it fucking sucks with what it is, and I do see it not being beneficial at all in any way so far. But the thing about humans is that we also find a way to fucking adapt and make it better, or make it work at least. And I don't know if we're going to be able to do that this time. And then, yeah. So I don't know. So that's where I've been at.
A somewhat related thought. Literally just this morning, I was in my car waiting to clock out and go home, and so I don't know if you've had your phone updated to like the latest iOS 26 or whatever,
stuff, right?
And I don't know if you have. Do you have Apple CarPlay in your vehicle or not? I don't know.
I don't.
I didn't know if yours was too old for that or not. So mine does, of course. And so whenever I like plug mine in, because I don't have wireless CarPlay, but whenever I plug mine in, it has that display and everything. And so since there was a iOS update, your Apple CarPlay also has changed.
Oh, really?
And I was having an issue with it, and I couldn't find anybody else talking about this issue. And so I didn't know what was wrong with it. And so there used to be a main home screen on your display for the Apple CarPlay that had like a large rectangular box on the left side that is your map, like your Google Maps or whatever it is that you use. And on the right side, there was a smaller box that was like whatever media you're playing, whether it's your song or your podcast or audiobook. And then, and I love that. And then since it updated to this new thing in my car, I didn't have that screen anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And I could not understand why. And so I had like, you could swipe over and see all of the apps that you have available, but then you swipe over to the left where that page should be. And instead I just have this widget thing, this brand new thing that they have on their CarPlay, widgets.
A widget.
And I was trying to get that set back up. I was like, let me pull my map up on this and let me pull like my music and my podcast thing on there, I guess.
Right.
And I couldn't get it to look right. And I was like, what the fuck is this? And I couldn't get it to show up. And so I was looking at videos of iOS 26 or whatever it is, Apple CarPlay, and I watched multiple videos, and they were all just like, yeah, and I got this and this, and my widget's here, and they like swiped over, and they had that screen that I want. And I'm like, where? And so I started my car right there at work, and it's not there. And I'm like, I don't understand. Why is it not on mine? Because that's the screen that I want, where I can see the map and I can see the like media, whatever it is I'm listening to. And I found out the solution was kind of irrelevant to where I'm trying to get to, but basically it was because I had deleted Google Maps from my phone, and the map app that I did have is apparently not compatible. So I was like, I wonder if I download Google Maps again, if I'll have that. And I downloaded it, and there it was, the page that I wanted. So Google. I have to use. So anyway, I was already kind of wanting to use it anyway, because just I feel more comfortable like being able to look on satellite view and see like, oh, this is where I need to turn in when I get to this place that I want to go that I've never been to. So because a lot of other maps don't put you where you need to go. It's just like, well, we'll get you to the area where this is.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, that's all beside the point. But what I was wanting to get to was this video that I watched of this dude showing his display. He was like showing all these widgets, because one of the things with this widget screen is you have like apps that you wouldn't normally, or previously you wouldn't have been able to have there. And so this dude was showing like, yeah, and I can like have my like weather on this screen, and you can have like this on this screen. And he's like, and I have a widget set up. I got my Chat GPT on there. And so he's like Chat GPT, he's like, I don't really have anything to say. I'm just trying to show how everything's working. And the Chat GPT thing is like, yeah, everything's working good over here. Just keep doing like just this thing. And I was like, man, you're putting Chat GPT in your fucking car to talk to it while you're driving. This is fucked up, is what I thought.
Sad.
And
yeah.
But I really started going down. Apologies to any listeners who enjoy, for some reason, like randomly chatting to an AI bot while you're driving, I guess.
Yeah. Whatever.
But I really had like I finished the video and I didn't find the answers that I was looking for, but it really put my head in kind of a dark space. And I kept thinking about that for like my whole drive home. And I was kind of going down a similar situation. I don't think I necessarily directly was thinking in relation to the Industrial Revolution per se, but I definitely was having a somewhat similar train of thought, though. But I don't know, just seeing, like knowing that people are driving around talking to Chat GPT in their car really upset me, I think. Just to think about. I don't know.
No, the whole thing's upsetting. It really is. But there's also this part of me, again, this is not me advocating for, and it's not me even like hinting at that like maybe I should keep an open mind. I'm not. Fuck it. I'm fine with keeping my mind closed on this one. I only have a few decades left on this planet. I'm okay with dying with this. Okay. But everything we have now and everything we do now is almost directly related to some kind of advancement in order to do something cheaper and faster and easier.
Yep.
And that is just our species. No matter what it is, We have always wanted to do things faster and easier and cheaper. And cheaper can strictly mean financial cheapness, or even just like, material and, manpower or whatever, right? And then easy is sort of in the same line as that, because those are kind of hand in hand, but easy is also just like how little effort do I or someone else have to put into it, right? And then of course cheap, cheap is part of that as well, and faster, or whatever one I'm missing. But anyway, they're all kind of tied together, right? And that's what we've always been, is that species where we don't want to work, but we want to advance. We don't want to put the effort in, but, or at least unless there's some reward, I guess, then we'll put the effort in. But even then, it seems like we're always trying to find ways to do something faster, cheaper, and easier. It rarely, I can't think of any example where we have strived to do things slower, harder, and more expensive. Right? And be satisfied in keeping it that way. Like, yeah, we might do something harder for a brief moment to advance, like a scientific discovery, or fucking go to the moon or whatever. Sure, but we're not constantly doing that. We'll do it once and be like, okay, we achieved that. Now let's figure out how to do it faster, easier, and cheaper, or never do it again. Or we'll do it hard, expensive, and long once, and then the result of that will be everlasting, right? So that's just been our species. Is the strive for that, for less energy output, and for more gain. So it kind of makes sense that we would be driven to do that in the current society, where we have pushed mechanical means fairly far. I'm not saying to like the limit necessarily yet, but at least fairly far. It's getting harder and more expensive to do the mechanical thing cheap and fast, right? Whatever it is. And mechanical doesn't necessarily mean machine. It could just be physical labor or whatever, right? And computers are part of our world now, and for better or worse, being separate from social media and the internet, of course. So that's where my mind has been, as far as like, is AI just the equivalent of the Industrial Revolution? And again, I say that knowing that even myself looks back on the Industrial Revolution as an important advancement in human species. I don't want to say that that's what AI is. I'm just saying, would me 200 some odd years ago been just as against the steam engine as I am against AI? I don't know.
Yeah, that's a friend of mine, one of my close friends that I still keep in contact with, was just texting me, this is maybe a couple weeks ago now, about how he has been overall fairly against AI, allegedly, but he was telling me about how, like, well, it can be a useful tool. He's like, I use it to help me like write like some kind of like a letter for this thing that I was doing or whatever. And he was like, and because I just don't have time to like sit down and do blah, 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 blah. And I was like, I mean, fine, whatever. Like there's no reason for me to argue with you right now. So I was just like, that's fine.
I don't have time is bullshit, because time has been the same speed as it always has been for the entirety of humanity. And we used to do so much fucking more in a day than we do now. The truth of the matter is you don't have the capacity to put the effort into figuring out how to do it.
Yes.
That's what you don't have. And that's fine. That's okay. But it's not that there was not enough time in the day to do it. It's you don't have the capacity to put the effort into it. Don't do the thing.
Yeah.
Just don't do the thing. But again, I don't know if that's also the right answer. I don't know. So me personally has been like again.
Well, I mean, that was kind of what I was thinking, but I also was just like, that's.
Yeah, sure.
There is like.
I wouldn't have told him that either, but that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah. I was just kind of like, there is zero benefit to me like arguing against what you're saying right now. You're going to use it if you're going to use it. It's not like I'm going to say something that's going to make you not use it.
Yeah.
You are aware. This person is aware of the effects of AI and like what it does and all this stuff. If you're choosing to use it, then you're choosing to use it.
Yeah.
I don't agree, but it's not my choice. So whatever you want to do.
Yeah. I mean, it's like, you know,
it's just whenever somebody I had mentioned before was like getting life advice from an AI model.
Yeah. That's scary.
That's good.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, that seems like it. I've heard a lot of stories about that going well. So
I don't know. I think that it shouldn't exist in the first place. But that's where my conundrum is if I apply that to AI, should I also apply that to my interest and respect and admiration for the Industrial Revolution? And am I just able to have that perspective on the Industrial Revolution purely because I didn't live through it and I benefited from it?
Removed. Every time you go to drive your car, spit at it and say, "I hate that you exist," before you start.
Well, I already do that in the first place.
Yeah, that's true. Me too. Yeah, I don't know. And then I kind of was also going down this train of thought whenever I watched that Technology Connections video. And if anybody's listening to this if you're not familiar with Technology Connections on YouTube, one of my personal favorite
I've never heard of it.
YouTube channels. No, I actually was talking to somebody recently, and I think I concluded that Technology Connections is perhaps the only channel that I'm subscribed to that I like. I watch most, if not all, of his uploads, like when they're new.
Oh, really?
Like, there's other accounts that I'll like frequent their videos, but I won't like, oh, there's a new one from this guy, I better watch it. Like his is. And he most recently at the time of this recording had done a video on renewable energy. That was my favorite video probably that he's ever done. And it was just, his videos are always really educational and interesting. And he's also very sassy, which makes it entertaining.
He's a sassy Midwesterner.
He's fantastic. I love him.
Chicago area.
Yeah. And so it was just, I had told you this in private, but it was definitely like, I wish I could send that video to some of my friends who seem to not agree with a lot of sentiment around renewable energy. I've been to one of my best friend's house, and there had been like a like EV car commercial on before.
Oh yeah.
And he audibly was like, "Yeah, but it still takes fossil fuels to fucking charge it, idiots," or something like that.
Then why does it fucking matter then? If that's I fucking hate that goddamn bullshit argument of okay, this is Will's fucking rant about any time that I hear anyone from fucking coal country fucking pissing on EVs.
He works at a coal plant.
I know he does, because I know what you're fucking talking about. But the bullshit about this is that coal country should be 1,010% behind EVs, because that only means that you have to produce more electricity. That's all that means. It means that it's literally taking away people from the petroleum industry that has nothing at all to do with the coal industry and could care fucking less about the coal industry, and in fact is actively trying to shut the coal industry down because natural gas is a byproduct of oil, and they would much rather sell that to power plants than your fucking coal. You need to get your head out of your fucking ass and support EVs all the time until the grid is 100% battery backup solar. As long as there are EVs and a constant growth of EVs, your coal job is going to be in demand. Always. You're literally saying, I don't want fucking people buying the product that I fucking get paid for. You're a fucking dumbass cunt. Just think for 2 seconds.
And then there's a separate friend who I heard a similar thing, who doesn't work at a coal plant, who did also one time we were talking about electric vehicles once. This was several years ago, I think now at this point, crazy enough in my head. But I don't remember why it came up, but there was an EV thing as well. And this other person also was like, yeah, but the thing they don't think about is how it also takes fossil fuels to fucking charge. And I was like, well, the only thing that I said at the time was like, do you honestly think they haven't realized that? Do you think that these people are unaware that
but also
you think that you're the one that thought of it and like they were like, oh, we didn't think about that?
The only person who should be making the argument of these also take fossil fuels or these still require fossil fuels to power them, the only people who should be making that argument from the standpoint of that makes them bad are people who support green energy. If you support fossil fuels and you support fossil fuel byproducts, you should be happy that EVs still fucking take those things out of the ground to be used. But if instead it's the people who fucking jerk off to fossil fuel as a concept seem to be pissed off that EVs take fossil fuels to be made. It's like, but they're still fucking using fossil. It's like, do you not like that? Do you not fucking enjoy the fact that they're still using the thing that you love so much? You should be happy that they're doing that. But it's this weird disconnect of like, yeah, well, they shouldn't exist. They shouldn't continue to support fossil. Wait, hold on a second. I just lost my own train of thought because I was mad at them for taking fossil fuels, but I'm also mad at them for not using fossil fuels if they don't exist. It's like, shut the fuck up. You're just regurgitating bullshit.
The argument that I think I might hate even more is whenever people are like, or whenever there's people who maybe are more open to EVs, but they're like, yeah, but I like the sound of the engine. And so I'll never have an EV because I just I love the sound of a good V8 or whatever the fuck. And I'm like, that is the stupidest fucking thing.
And also, so you never fucking owned a V8, so shut the fuck up.
You'd rather have a way, like, just functionally less efficient, more expensive thing than this thing that requires less maintenance.
Yeah.
Like, the thing that video, that Technology Connections video, to bring it back to that real quick, before we close out.
I blacked out for 5 minutes there.
No, it's fine. The thing that reinforced, which I obviously was already aware of, I think the thing that really blew my mind about that, there was a dollop I remember a long time ago where Dave mentioned that there were electric vehicles like 100 years ago, and there were even vehicles that ran on alcohol. And the reason that they got rid of those is because they couldn't patent that because farmers could just, in theory, make their own fuel. And they couldn't have that, so they had to make their own gasoline. And so anyway, I've known for a long time that we do that stuff the stupid way, and we have this whole time. But I don't know, that Technology Connections video really just like very well and clearly and like easy to understand spelled out how everything in society that we do intentionally the stupidest possible way and the least efficient way possible. And it is so frustrating. And so that video is super educational and super interesting, and I loved it. But also, it definitely made me very frustrated because you're just watching him basically explain to you like, and this is like the way we could be doing things that makes way more sense and also is way more efficient.
Yeah.
And it would benefit literally everybody, the consumer and the producer. It would benefit everybody to just do this. But we just don't. And there's absolutely not even a good reason why we don't. We just don't. And I definitely, not to spoil, if anybody out there ends up watching this video, not to spoil the last half an hour of it, but it definitely did not go. I did not expect him to go where he ended up going on his rant.
It's good.
Like,
good video.
Because he started out with like, well, the snarkiness is about to start, and he shows that clip from like the windmill where he's like, yeah, I hear that these things make a ton of noise, but I don't know. There's like slight whooshing from the blade going by, but there's not like he's like, I've heard a lot about a rare sound, but I don't know. You tell me. And he's like quiet, and you just hear like a whoo, whoo. like a very gentle whoosh. And he was like, yeah, and I also hear that these things are just murder factories for birds, but I don't see any. I don't know. And he's like being such a smart ass. And I was like, this is great. Yes. And then I did not expect him to like get deep into stuff. I'm so glad he did, but I really didn't think that he would. And it also was like, I wish I could send this to those friends that I was mentioning.
You just wish that they would watch it is all.
Yes, and I know that they wouldn't, because if they sent me a 90-minute video, I wouldn't fucking watch it, because I'm like, I don't have time to see. So that's my reasoning is like, because if they sent me a video like that, there's no way I'd be like, I'm not going to sit down to watch a 90-minute fucking YouTube video that you just sent me. So I don't expect them to either, but I wish that they would, because I think that video to that audience specifically, them, would make a lot of sense, and I think it would spell things out really well to make that. I think that it was explained well enough in that video that those two people I'm referencing right now would be able to go, oh, that makes a lot of sense. I hadn't thought of it like that. And that is what I would want. But I just know that there's no way that they'd be like, an hour and a fucking half about solar energy? No way.
Fucking solar. Fucking destroying the beauty of the landscape with solar panels. It's like, bitch, they're being built on farmland that was once beautiful forest that we tore down a century ago for capitalism.
That happened here. This was local news a year, maybe 2 ago. We still get frustrated about it in our household. This was like a thing where this was in a town. It wasn't in our town, but it was in a town nearby, and it was a local news story for a few days because these townspeople went berserk because there was like a place that was wanting to put like a solar farm in this field where there's nothing.
Yeah.
And these townspeople all gathered together and went fucking crazy because they're like, they're going to destroy the view out here. We've had this view for the last 60 years and they're going to destroy it with these solar panels and they're going to be doing this and blah, 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 blah. And so this fucking town had like all these meetings where they had to like, where they like demanded that like this plan be scrapped and stuff. And then they fucking did. They scrapped it because these people destroyed this fucking prospect for a solar farm that was going to go there that had all of these benefits and like few to no downsides. Yeah. But because these people were like, it's going to ruin the view.
The Democrats coming in here, they're Green Deal and going to ruin the view.
That pissed us here in our apartment. We were so pissed off for it.
So locally, in this town, they installed 2 separate smaller solar fields. Yeah, and they are here. They actually have been around for a few years now, 5 or 6 years.
Vandalism.
One of them, the second one that they were putting in, was on the other side of the town from the first one, and a couple of the residents around the property that was being proposed to be a solar field complained. One of the gentlemen owns cattle, and by cattle I mean like 5 or 6 cows, not like a whole giant pasture of cows, just like 5 or 6 cows. He was worried that his cows were going to go blind from the reflection shining off of the solar panels.
They had the same argument as well here at this local one I was just talking about.
And it's like, no offense to cows, for any cows listening, I'm sorry, but if you're dumb enough not to look away at something bright, I don't know.
Had a super bright glare coming at you. Yeah.
But anyway, so that was one of the arguments. Yes. But our town was still like, well, we're going to build them anyway because it's going to benefit more than, just move your cow somewhere else, I guess.
I guess that's a +1 for Southern Indiana over Northeast Ohio.
But there's a county near us, which I think your friend lives in, or near, at least nearer, installed a bunch of solar panels, like acres and acres and acres of solar panels.
Oh.
And it just went live.
Installed, you say?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, nice.
Like good. Massive fields
worth.
Oh,
I bet they're up in an uproar.
Oh, yeah. Because, again, the whole argument of, like, it's going to ruin our landscape. And they're installing these on farm fields that are not producing, either because the farmer isn't making any money because he can't sell his crops, or because, like, the land is being overfarmed and it's just, it's just taking more money to make the land fertile than it is, benefiting whatever crop comes out of it. So it's just land. It's just flat land. There's no trees. There's no habitat being destroyed. In fact, every native species that's ever been there has been long eradicated generations ago via chemicals and whatever else.
But and that Technology Connections video even goes into that too, talking about how farmers should be all for.
Yeah, because they're getting paid.
So,
like, they're not selling the land; they're leasing it.
And he did the math of like, because according to whatever source it was that he had, like X% of cornfields that you see, like 25 to 40, I think was the range that he saw. 25 to 40% of corn and cornfields that you're seeing are not for eating.
No, it's not.
For ethanol and fuel.
It's for fuel. Yeah.
Where you see on the gas pump, 10% may contain up to 10%
Which
ethanol.
Again,
that's coming from the cornfield. So he was saying if you replace that percentage of corn in cornfields with solar panels, there's enough to fucking power like the entire country and then have a lot more energy on top of it.
But also, everyone around here fucking hates ethanol as a fuel, because they just hate how it screws up the fuel quality and how it messes with the engines and how it's part of this whole Democrat green fuel thing. And again, like, they're fucking over farmers who are paying, or who are selling their crop to be used as said fuel. But they don't care, because they think that it's some, propaganda bullshit or whatever. They'd much rather have oil from the ground. So again, they should be happy that those fields are being removed from the ethanol supply, which means that you would be forced to buy non-ethanol added fuel, which is what they want. But anyway, but also these people who complain about the view, like I said, these are fields, at least in the majority of the Midwest. Like, while, most of these states are flat because of the Ice Age, thing, they were all deeply wooded until the colonies expanded west. Whenever the colonies expanded west, all of those trees were cut down and turned into fields. Every single one. Like, there's not many states in the area that we're in that has acreage and acreage of old growth woods. It's all very much in the age of a tree, very much new growth, in the sense that 100 years ago, it was all that shit was clear cut. Everything was wiped out. So the natural beauty's already been destroyed. You're just talking about looking at corn crop that is a plant that is not owned by the farmer, by the way. It is a plant that is owned by a massive multi-billion-dollar corporation that has hired the farmer to grow, and then the farmer gets a cut of the profit of selling that crop. So the farmer is not benefiting from your great view that you drive by on a Saturday afternoon or whatever. The farmer is fucking barely making ends meet because he can't do anything with that plant other than grow it and sell it. He does not legally own the plant. He can't harvest the seeds and make his own corn crop next year naturally. You're also not eating it. It's either going to fuel, or the rest of it, a vast majority of it, is going to beef and feed for cattle and pork, and I guess some chicken, feed there, which all of those markets are being cut and drastically slashed, but not because of some fucking vegan. They're being, it's being drastically cut because those same corporations can much cheaply and easier import those animals rather than grow them here. So it's like, fuck off with this whole fucking excuse of like, it's just ridiculously upsetting that the amount of stupidity that controls these decisions.
Yep.
But yeah, so I guess that was the week.
So thanks. Yeah, we got let's see, we had a very exciting meeting prospect that was good. We had some movie watching. We had a British explorer.
Yeah.
We had solar energy.
I didn't even get to talk about my Thursday pizza, but I'll save that for next time. All right.
Yeah.
Let's do the normal show. Yes.
Normal show time.
Yeah, I bought 4 different brands of pizza yesterday.